might happen to you.
You put me on the tips, I'm not making like probably 60% of the fairways. Like I would be in like the rough, like, you know, right before the fairway.
Yeah, why would they go for people with a couple dozen followers as opposed to somebody who's got a nationwide name and reputation?
Like Riggs.
Yeah, what about Riggs?
Well, yeah, go ahead. Get in.
Now your feelings have been hurt, haven't they?
I need the money.
And those were the cuts of the week.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You are listening to The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, and Jackson. Doug, is it Bennett Burkett?
I believe it is, yeah.
Well, he's here.
Yeah, something fancy, ritzy.
Bernard.
Ladouish. He just comes from the upper crust, Tim.
Yeah.
It's just what it's all about.
It's our brush with old money.
Yeah, he had a pool growing up and everything.
I know 3 Bennetts, and they're all old money.
Who's that?
Sam Bennett.
Bennett Johnson.
Tony?
Bennett. Donaldson.
Michael Bennett.
Bennett Cerf was a panelist on game shows.
Yeah, but I don't know him.
Michael Bivens.
Didn't the Rams have a wide receiver named Bennett?
Drew Bennett.
Drew Bennett?
Yeah, he killed it.
He didn't really.
Okay.
Heck.
And there's Bennett Burkett. Benny. We used to call him Benny.
You like that, Jackson?
No.
Oh.
Well, he's new money now. He's making a name for himself.
Oh, wow.
Do you consider yourself new money?
Not really.
How much does one have to make before he's considered new money? You have to be like
I actually don't know if it necessarily is make so much as the spend is often the tell.
Yeah, like I don't think you can. You almost have to be born into new money, right? Like,
I think as soon as
think.
you buy a new apartment on the coast and leave town, that's when you become new money.
Did Kathy Bates...
Doug, you remember her from Misery with Jimmy Kahn.
Well,
Good.
In Titanic, didn't she call all those people on the boat new money?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was implied.
And that the
and
whole...
was Cole Hawksley new money? I think he was old money, right? And that was Billy Zane.
Oh, well, he lost everything. He lost his concerns, they said.
I like that. You like that?
And The Gilded Age, which I think is creeping up there as one of my top 8 favorite shows here, it is all about old money versus new money in New York. And kind of, you know, the old money rich are scared of the new money. That's why they had the Academy of Music for the old money, but then, you know, in the show they built the Met so, you know, the new money could arrive.
There were some people who made vast fortunes here in St. Louis around about that time. That money is still here, too, a lot of it.
Why don't we get some?
You like lamb chops, honey? We'll have the lamb chops medium rare, very little mint sauce. Titanic.
Oh.
It's new money, ordering for his wife.
All right.
Well, Tim dared open the show talking about the show's producer, our sweet virgin Prince, so naturally the Strodemeister had to shoulder his way in with a flex about the number of folks he knows named Bennett.
Henshin,
good start, and it was at Brian Henshin, and it was sent at 7-11. He's monitoring this Colt situation.
Well,
I like the Bennett tie-in.
It's a nice name. I like Bennett.
It's just a really nice topic for us to start.
Well, Nate in Tallahassee's not happy, I see. The millennial, after PLTDing yesterday, I would like to submit a trade proposal. Our generation will trade Gen Z Plowsy and a player to be named later for Jackson. These are generation trades?
Oh.
The millennial will trade Gen Z Plowsy. Are you Gen Z Plowsy? I thought you were millennial.
I'm millennial.
And a player to be named later for Jackson.
How about if we trade you to the fan page for cash considerations?
Oh.
A fan page trade. Doug, you want to do fan page trades?
Oh, I'd love to do listener trades where we trade them to other shows. Love that.
You'd ship out a few, would you?
Oh, I got a couple of them in the holster ready to be shipped on out of here, Dougie boy.
Can you just DFA them? If you can't find a trading partner, just cut them loose?
You're going to have to try to find another show.
Yeah, I'm blocking.
It is our Munganass St. Louis Acura, Munganass Burkhardt Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Munganass is online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com, and they were telling me last week when I was out there, Doug, they have an incredible selection of new cars on their lot. Inventory galore. Work with the best. The best is Munganass St. Louis Acura. Munganass Burkhardt Alton Toyota. Got my car serviced there. Get your car serviced there. Even if you didn't get your car from there, work with Ryan Seiberg and the service department. They are the best, and they have a secret number for you to call or text with questions, requests. That number is the following: 314-252-0029. That's Munganass St. Louis Acura. And Munganass Burkhardt Alton Toyota sponsor our 7 o'clock hour in the Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. Iggy, 1-1 so far on the season, and now it's off to Palm Springs for the Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. This should be fun, Doug. You got to go low there.
Good times. Pulling those names out of the box. Good, sweet times. Nice memories.
You look for Corn Ferry guys this week because it's a 3-day Pro-Am, and they're used to playing Pro-Ams. The good PGA players hate playing Pro-Ams.
Why?
They just don't like playing with people that aren't any good.
Oh, that's kind of snobbish.
Isn't that the first month and a half of the season? PGA Tour? Kind of just a couple of good guys and a bunch of no-namers?
I don't know. It's a pretty good field this week. Top heavy, but a good field.
But you're suggesting Corn Ferry Tour players.
Yeah, guys that played in a lot of Pro-Ams.
Those are the only ones that can keep their cool during a Pro-Am?
Well, they help the players, and a lot of these players just kind of stick to themselves, don't even read putts for their Pro-Am partners.
Yeah. That's bad. Can't you just be a normal, natural guy there for a day or two?
I mean, I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them are, but a lot of guys don't like playing Pro-Ams. Takes away from their concentration.
I bet you didn't like playing Pro-Ams. Had you been a pro golfer,
I've only played in like 2 of them.
Yeah.
If I'm a pro golfer, I'm not complaining about going to any amazing country club and playing 4 rounds of golf in almost perfect weather and then being able to hop in a private jet. There's not many complaints I'm going to be having.
No.
I caddied in a bunch
Very
of Pro-Ams.
small violin for these non-pro-am golf,
I suppose whatever lifestyle you get used to, though, you find something you don't like
That's true, but, I mean...
It's like Major League Baseball players find plenty to complain about. Same with every sport. They're making millions, and still there's something they're not happy
But with golf, you can play for 20 years and then go, oh, there's a senior tour that's paying a few $100,000 for winning? Okay. You can extend your career by, 40 or 50 years.
It's easier said than done, but I remember I was talking to Jay Williamson one day after he'd missed like his 3rd straight cut. And he was just complaining and bitching, and I said, dude, look at it this way. I said, you have your PGA Tour card. You can play every week if you want. I said, you go out there, you're in the sun for 4 days. Green grass, trees, warm weather. You play golf, you enjoy yourself, you come home, you got a beautiful wife and kids. Just think about that. Don't think about another putt I missed. Just go out there and have fun. Play golf. Think about it. Look at how lucky you are. Then if you miss a cut, you come home to your kids and your wife.
You talked a lot of sense into it.
Beautiful sports psychologist over here.
And then he finished 8th the next week.
Because
if you want this life, it's not too hard to get it.
I used to, for all the years I caddied at the LPGA in St. Louis, I had a caddy in Pro-Ams, obviously. And you could either make a lot of money or get pissed off because you would clean off the balls for the other 4 players, just like you would for your player. But then, you get up to the green, you grab the other Pro-Am players' balls. Here, I'll take it for you. Wash your balls for her and things like that. And a lot of them would tip you, $50, $75, whatever. So you make extra money. And a couple times, nobody gave me a dime. One time at the end of the round, I said, dude, I did everything for you 4 players. Nothing for the effort?
Nothing for the effort.
Oh, we got to pay a tip our pro-am. I said, well, I basically caddied for you. So I get pissed off. But
I remember Caddy Stan stopped wiping my ball off. He would just leave that like big mud stain on the ball and just hand it to me.
Well, so you probably didn't tip him.
I was looking for the ATM.
That's right. On the course.
I took care of you.
The ATM on the course. They should have those at more country clubs.
Would probably help the gambling.
Oh, I think
you could pay off your debts right there.
I had to pay your caddy in Jamaica, too.
Yeah, you did. The guy, he didn't take Venmo. Put that in.
All the caddies are getting paid but Iggy.
So none of them tipped you, Iggy?
No, there were two rounds. I think I caddied 7 straight years, 6 straight years. 4 of the times they tipped me. 2 times they didn't tip me.
All right. Well,
Doug's exhausted.
And that's how you got to the lifestyle where you are now?
Yeah. And I kind of got stiffed by one player.
Oh, no.
I won't mention her name, but we had it. I mean, it's normally, if you're using a local caddy, you just, it's $100 a day. But sometimes they'll say, 10% of what I make. Oh, yeah. And this girl did it. She goes, this is what I do. I do $100 a day. And if I, 10% of what I make, I said, that's fine. Great. Even if you finish last, you make the cut, you're going to make $2,800. That's $280 for me. She finished 8th, which was like $28,000 at that time, and just paid me $600. I said, what's this? She goes, well, 6 days of caddying, 4 days, 2 practice rounds. I said, yeah, but what about the 10%? Oh, I didn't say 10%. I said, yeah, you did. You didn't figure you're going to make the top 8, but you did. So she basically stiffed me on a 20.
Oh, no.
That's the highest she's
Can you get some sort of written contract before the tournament?
Highest she's ever finished in a tournament, too.
And she stiffed you.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Doggone it. Just can't catch a break.
I'd probably be retired now if she'd have paid me.
You could invest that and
retired on 10% of $28,000? $2,800? You could retire on $2,800.
Wouldn't take me much.
It's no $50K in the 401K, but I think that could get you somewhere.
Well, Doug's already that age, but Tim and Jackson and Plazzi, wait till you get to retirement age. Wait till you try to take out your Social Security.
Well, there won't be any.
Finally got a hold of him yesterday because I tried to do it online, and 3 straight times said Social Security number is not valid. I said, well, that's my Social Security number. I don't know what. So they told me to call the helpline. Called the helpline, got in on that. She goes, took information. She goes, okay, well, we'll set up an appointment. You can do it over the phone. They can call you at 11:30 on March 5th.
Yeah,
it's January.
Yeah, come on now.
So I got to wait almost 2 months before I even get a call.
Well, if you'd had that $2,800, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
You'd be set. You could live
I
off
can't even listen to
$2,800.
get the words out. So that's it. Listen, we don't have to take calls, tonight if we don't want to. If we're going to have just whiny guys and just clowns on there, we don't have to take calls.
$2,800 won't last you a month.
You would think it'd be one phone call and, give us your information. Nope, you're good to go. What's your bank routing number? You'd think that would be it.
Well, they're dealing with millions of people. So you're not going to get your Social Security check?
Not for a while.
Oh, no.
And I think after you file, it takes 2 months before you start getting anything.
Oh, nuts.
So this summer I'll be flush with about $400 a month.
That's not that flush.
I'm enjoying the show.
Me too, Base Burglar.
Love that.
I miss the Base Burglar.
Yeah. It's enough for me today.
Doug Jackson sent in wonderful audio today. Jackson,
what he said.
I mean, take your pick.
Yeah, this one, I feel really good.
I mean, he's got 7 fun with audio clips.
There's 6 in here right now. I may have to double check it over.
Oh, I only put in 6. That's my bad. I mislabeled the last one. My apologies.
Come on, Bennett.
Jackson, what's your favorite? I mean, you've heard these. Doug and we haven't.
No.
I really like the Iron Eagle clip.
Doug, this is Iron Eagle talking Brooklyn Nets.
I love Iron Eagle.
Okay, I like him too.
Oh, he's so good.
Turnover, missed free throws when you got fouled of it. It was crazy.
Could I make one point?
Sure can.
I just want to say that earlier,
you had a very patronizing tone towards me. I fully understand what a slip screen is. I've been doing the NBA for 18 years. But the way you presented it initially was gobbledygook. So, like the audience, I wanted you to come back and explain yourself. And you then just took a firing line on me, and it was uncalled for.
I don't think so.
That's exactly what happened.
You are overly sensitive to
I am not.
Did you have a bad day today?
It's second game of a back-to-back.
The
It's
ride back from
very
Philly,
tough.
did it disturb you last night?
That was 2 hours with you, which is probably the reason why I've had enough tonight. Timeout.
Gosh, he sounded serious.
Yeah, oh, he's 100%.
Is that from 2012?
Is it?
I just typed it in to get some background on it. Doug, it's dated April 17th, 2012.
Timely.
Yeah. Where are you getting these links, Jackson?
Well, damn it. Someone tweeted it out yesterday.
Oh, well then.
It's okay.
Well, I'm not saying.
recent.
All right.
It's still a nice little clip of audio.
Yeah, he's still relevant. He does the Sunday games with Charles Davis, I believe.
You don't hear
NFL.
people get
My
mad
bad.
at each other very
My bad.
often on the air like
Jackson,
that.
you have zero to apologize.
I thought that they were wearing like throwback uniforms because they definitely were in like the New Jersey Nets uniforms, not the Brooklyn ones, but I thought it was just a throwback.
Who was the color analyst on that?
Mike Fratello, the czar.
Yeah, the czar of the telestream.
That's right.
He's been retired for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's on me. Damn it. All right. Well,
worry
the
about
junior
it.
hockey one's good too.
Don't worry about it. We play Francesa clips from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The junior hockey one, I actually think it's not good, but I'm curious what you guys are on it.
Oh,
All
no.
right, let's take a listen to this, Doug.
The rush. Pulls it back there, and now Murphy. Murphy throws the pass across. And that puck's going to go out of play here, and that's going to do it for that sequence right there. 9:25 left. I apologize if I just damaged your eardrums there. It went right over the mesh, right over my head. So, oh my God, I apologize for that. I'm sorry. Everyone's few people look at me. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh my God! As I apologize for that one right there, and for saying "oh my God," I shouldn't be saying that. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just trying to catch my breath here. Okay. All right. As we're back to this thing, rush here with it.
I almost got hit by the puck, clearly.
Is that the same guy from Look at This? Look at
I
that?
think it is, and if that's the case, then I definitely don't find that clip funny, and then the other one kind of loses some of its luster too.
I think he's getting so much power from the other one, he's just making stuff up now.
So you're saying like it's a sketch/bit?
Yes.
Oh my God, Doug.
If it's the same guy. If it's the same guy.
There's no way that's the same guy.
I don't think it's the same guy either. I thought the first guy was some dad taking
I think that
his
guy was a
son.
dad too.
Oh, there's no way it's the same
Where's
guy.
he broadcasting from? They almost got hit by a puck.
I mean, it's like junior hockey, so
Yeah, that can happen in a local arena.
Well, they're 6-year-olds. How bad can a puck hit you?
Well,
if
we don't
it's
know
a
that these were
6-year-old?
6-year-olds. The first group was 6-year-olds.
I'm betting the house it's not the same person. Didn't sound like it.
It almost sounded like a regular broadcast.
And I'm all,
Looks like they're doing a little reverse
There's no
thing. You might see
way.
the football here.
Split the D. Oh, what's he gonna do? He's shooting the room, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that.
There's literally no way in hell that that's the same. That guy has
I wonder if I'll
pizzazz.
ever tire of that clip.
Never.
that clip will always be funny, but I do think it might be the same guy. And
Well,
that
do you have any basis for it?
both junior hockey, they kind of sound the same.
I don't hear it.
Doug's
Well-
time for audio forensics.
We clearly can tell from the first clip that the guy has plenty of vocal range. You know, he goes from talking normal to talking ridiculous in a matter of seconds.
what is
The rush. Pulls it back there, and now Murphy.
See, that's more of a Canadian.
The first guy's Canadian.
See that?
what about the, does that sound like the other guy?
Looks like they're doing a little reverse thing. You might see the football here.
I mean, come on.
If they're not the same guy, then both clips are funny.
That guy's
I like
kinda-
it.
that
I
guy's
think
kinda
I'm with
nasally.
you.
I got tagged in it like 100 times, you did too, Plowhawk, yesterday on Twitter, and so I was like, all right, I'll include it, but I thought that it was the same guy.
It can't. It's hard to beat the first one because
yeah.
of like. He literally orgasmed
And
from a goal.
if a puck's going over the mesh, you duck. You don't do what he did. What was the noise he's making?
Oh yeah, he like I said, he gets into it.
Looks like they're doing a little reverse thing. You might see in football here.
Split the D. Oh, what's he gonna do? He's shooting the room, Daddy. Look at this, look at that.
Dude, come on. That's one of the best clips of all
Now go to the other
time.
guy when he made the noises.
The other guy?
Yeah, I just want to hear the one he orgasms when he almost.
Okay, we'll hear it again.
You mean the
Rush. Pulls it back there, and now Murphy. Murphy throws the pass across.
No way.
And that puck's
No way. That's
Not
like
the same guy, but that's still fake.
I agree with Iggy on that.
Yeah.
I don't know about the same guy thing, but it does sound like it was a sketch.
Yeah, he said throws the puck across, and then what happened? You throw a puck across and gets deflected. How fast can a puck come? You try to catch it. You don't try to scream like a little girl.
No.
I don't think it's the same guy, though.
Well, I'm just glad he's okay.
I'm really sorry about the Iron Eagle clip. I don't
apologizing
often
for that?
I don't get duped often. I got duped. And
Who cares?
I think
Why'd you
it's
get duped? Somebody sent it to you?
No, so it came up on Twitter today when I was reading Twitter this morning in my bed, and I was like, oh my God, Iron Eagle being very real. I should have realized based on the uniforms.
Well, we never heard it before, so it's new for us.
Yeah, it's no good.
No, we don't mind taking a step back in time, especially to hear people bicker.
If we wouldn't have played that, I'd have continued to talk about unemployment and my benefits. And that was more boring than Iron Eagle.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We like a good HR discussion.
Iron Eagle said in 2012 regarding the clip, every bit of that was a put-on. Not 40%, not 70%. It was 100% busting each other's chops. We do it every game. What happens sometimes is the local audience knows what we're up to, but when something like this goes viral, the unfortunate part is the familiarity goes out the window. There are people who just don't get it. They're not in on the joke. Sarcasm is hard to comprehend, especially when you can't see the broadcasters. That's Iron Eagle on that clip.
That's possible. Yeah.
Imagine if this show had something go viral from it.
Mm-hmm.
People would probably just try to remove us immediately from the country.
Probably. I imagine
We'd be deported.
if Iron Eagle was that prickly and brought his complaints on the air like that, he wouldn't have ascended to the place where he is now, which is one of the top network broadcasters out there.
Have you heard his son? His son sounds exactly like him. He's my age. He calls Nets games all the time. Noah Eagle.
So it is. Chris Collinsworth's kid sounds like him, too.
It does.
Yeah.
Same voice.
Yeah.
He kind of looks a little like him, too, which wouldn't be that unusual, I suppose.
Hey, guys. Since Jackson screwed up with the links, I had an epiphany last night. Everyone is looking at this vacation class warfare thing the wrong way. The people that go down to the Gulf and do things the right way, eating out for good seafood, since you're next to the body of water it comes from, are the riches. And the people stocking up on Walmart hockey puck burgers to cook on a condominium community grill like Mr. Licks are the poors.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Well, there's something to that.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to be making Walmart hockey puck burgers.
So that's how you know who's...
I think that's a pretty good tell,
So if you're having seafood in...
Right there by the ocean.
Then you're one of the riches?
Probably so.
But if you're making the hockey puck burgers in the condominium community grill, you're one of the poors.
Complaining about your benefits.
Oh, when you're putting those burgers on a plate and you can hear it, like, cling. Like, oh, man, those are overcooked.
Yeah.
You got to be careful where you get your meat, though, when you cook it. I like my burgers medium rare.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So if I get it from like the smokehouse, I know I can cook it medium rare because mainly ribeye in there.
Every time you get a burger, you go to the smokehouse?
No. But if I go to the smokehouse, I get hamburger because I love their burgers.
Oh.
But if you go to a supermarket, it's like 80% lean. Where you can't cook those medium rare because you don't know how processed it is or where the meat came from.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just giving you a tip. A lot of people like eating medium rare hamburgers.
Yeah.
Just make sure you know where the meat's coming from before you do that.
Doug, a lot of people like Brown and Crouppen, our title sponsor.
Well, everybody likes Brown and Crouppen, our title sponsor, especially people that have worked with them. They've won more than $1 billion in compensation for their clients. I guess you would like them. And we've had them in studio. Terry Crouppen, Andy Crouppen, Ed Herman have all been in the studio to talk it over with us, and the people have gotten to know them and love them just like we do. It's a business that's been around since 1979 in St. Louis, now one of the largest personal injury firms in the entire Midwest. So if you have a potential personal injury case, Brown & Crouppen is the local law firm that is here to serve you. If you think you may need Brown & Crouppen services, call them. What was that, Plowsy?
My bad, dog. No, Twitter.
Okay.
I forgot to turn the pot down.
Well, if you think you may need Brown &
Doug.
Crouppen services, call them, and here's the number now, 314-222-2222, or you go to brownandcrouppen.com and make sure you let them know you heard about it here on TMA. Fabulous guys, outstanding law firm. They will do great work for you. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
Jackson, why don't you tell the people about Mark Hanna?
I'd love to tell folks about Mark Hanna. He's a wonderful financial advisor. He's someone who's worked with a bunch of guys on the show. I know he's worked with Iggy recently. He's worked with me and Doug, Prod Joe, and so many of our listeners. We all say the same thing. We love working with Mark Hanna because his communication skills are top-notch. Of course, he has wonderful financial skills as well. He can give you all the best advice on what to do with your financial future. But it's the way he communicates with his clients that sets him apart from everybody else. The fact that you know you can get on the phone with him if you have to adjust your plan or things have changed in your life and you're kind of nervous about it, you're going to get on that phone. You might be a little nervous. When you get off the phone, you're going to feel a lot better. That's because Mark Hanna knows how to communicate effectively with his clients, and that's exactly why you want him in your corner with something as important as your financial future. That's why I love working with Mark Hanna, and that's why you'll love working with Mark Hanna as well.
His number is 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. It's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. And we are thrilled to announce on the program today, Doug, a new text inbox sponsor.
Fabulous.
Woot,
Who would that be?
Woot, 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 woot. Jeff Lotman.
Oh, great.
Of Compass Realty. Jeff Lotman at JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Yeah, JEFFLOTTMANN.com. I had lunch with Jeff. Was that last Wednesday?
I don't know the days, Tim.
Man, he is a big fan of the program, and he is now on board as our text inbox sponsor here on TMA. So if you are looking to buy a home or looking to sell a home, and I've made the observation the last couple of weeks, ever since the new year, that I've noticed a lot more homes on the market, rates dropping, people looking to get out ahead of it. Well, then this is your opportunity. Work with Jeff. Text inbox sponsor on TMA. He's with Compass Realty. Jeff Lotman at JEFFLOTTMANN.com. The Jeff Lotman text inbox here on TMA. The number is 314-881-TMA5. The name of the game on this program, Doug, support the sponsors. Yeah. And Jeff Lotman is our text inbox sponsor here on The Morning After. We have some breaking news that is important, and I was attempting to get more detail on it. But here's, I'll just read what is in the New York Post this morning. Amazon. This is important for Cardinal fans. Amazon is poised to stream the games of 5 Major League Baseball teams this season and brush back MLB's attempts to wrest control. You like that, wrest control?
I don't mind wresting control.
After extending a roughly $100 million lifeline to bankrupt broadcaster Diamond Sports, the New York Post has learned. Diamond, the nation's largest regional sports network with broadcast rights to 11 MLB teams, half the NBA teams, and a third of the NHL teams. This, of course, includes the Cardinals and the Blues. Also is expected to get a separate $500 million capital infusion after finalizing a settlement with parent company Sinclair, sources told the New York Post. The 2 new revenue streams will be presented to a Houston bankruptcy judge as early as today for approval and is expected to prevail despite Major League Baseball's objections. Diamond owns the streaming rights to 5 of the 11 MLB teams, but Commissioner Rob Manfred rejected Diamond's proposal deal with Amazon for all 11 teams with the hope of negotiating his own contract with the streaming giant. Last week, the bankruptcy judge gave Diamond an extension to find an alternative that would please its creditors. That was reported exclusively by the New York Post. The new restructuring agreement would give Amazon an unspecified minority stake in Diamond after it emerges from bankruptcy in about 3 months. It would also include the rights to stream all 162 games of the Tigers, the Royals, the Marlins, the Twins, and the Rays as Amazon looks to expand into the lucrative sports market on the heels of the success of last weekend's streaming-only NFL playoff game between the Chiefs and Dolphins. Amazon also exclusively airs some NFL games and a handful of MLB games, but has not yet entered the regional sports network business, where it is the home of a local team for a full season. Fans of the 5 baseball teams would have to get an Amazon Prime membership, which costs $14.99 a month to stream their games. It's not clear if fans in those markets would need to pay more than the Prime membership to get access to those games. Diamond, which broadcasts under the Bally's brand, will continue to televise the 11 MLB teams for which it has rights, including the Rangers on cable. That also includes the Cardinals, though it may dump the Rangers and, it says the Cleveland Indians in this article.
Yeah.
It does
I would
not.
like to apologize.
Scrap the whole thing.
Somebody lost their job.
Did you get the dump button?
I'm not listening anymore.
Actually, this is a pre-run.
Before it emerges from bankruptcy, the network's streaming rights for NBA and NHL teams they carry ends after this season. Diamond, which may not emerge from bankruptcy until after the current season, is expected to negotiate for the 2024-2025 streaming rights so Amazon can air local baseball and hockey games going forward. Diamond and Sinclair announced the news Wednesday morning, today, and declined to provide further details. Amazon and MLB did not return calls for comment. Diamond has $8 billion in junior debt, which last week was trading at 5 cents on the dollar. Not bad. The junior creditors are expected to pay off almost all of the $650 million owed to the senior lenders, with the windfall from the $495 million settlement with Sinclair and Amazon's infusion. Diamond sued the publicly traded parent company for $1.5 billion for allegedly taking too much money out of the subsidiary in fees and dividends. That's Diamond suing Sinclair. So this is a substantial development. MLB did not want Amazon and Diamond negotiating because MLB wanted to negotiate directly with Amazon. Bottom line is this, to sum it up, it looks like Amazon is getting into the RSN business.
Yeah. I thought I saw just yesterday, the day before, where the Cardinals said they're good for the entire 2024 season.
Now, what it's the third said?
I think so.
They are.
Yeah.
But they have to prepare for 2025.
Right.
I'm texting with a television executive this morning about this, attempting to get more information. And his response was, this is really big news. I can't wait to see how that goes. That makes the most sense of anything I've heard so far. Then I said, what does it mean for the Cardinals, MLB? He said, I really don't believe the Cardinals want to be in the TV business, and I could be wrong, but to me this seems like a life raft, if not a ship for them. I think it could be, to me, that's the only play that doesn't include them getting into the broadcast business or streaming business that makes any sense, and I think they may just grab onto it. But I mean, the devil's in the details for sure. Yeah, because the Cardinals would essentially, and that's what Bill DeWitt III said over the weekend, would have to start preparing to broadcast the games themselves. Even if they went one of 3 directions, setting up their own Yes Network, their own SNY, or getting into business with the Blues, and the two being partners on a network, or the Cardinals doing the broadcast, but then MLB being a distributing partner. In this case, that takes those 3 options off the table if Amazon is now the distributor.
I'm confused. I'm surprised the Cardinals wouldn't want to create their own network. I realized a lot of headaches and upfront money. They're doing the apartment thing. They're doing the ballpark village thing. It seems like they like the added revenue streams, and they could probably hire the right people to get it done. If the Blues and them, got together on this, you could have an app that has, old Cardinal games, you could have pre and post game for Blues, and you can do all that sorts of thing. It's not super appealing to me, but I'm surprised the Cardinals wouldn't want in on that.
Well, it depends on what their projections show. If it's profitable, it probably comes with a lot of risk. So, what the Cardinals have had is $60 million in revenue. Just come on in, the water's warm in their partnership with Bailey's. Mm-hmm. That, of course, is going away. The question then becomes, and this is where it gets into how it impacts fans, because then it impacts what the Cardinals' comfort level with spending is, which they finally are now talking about. They talked about it over the weekend. Didn't feel like they really talked about it much up until this weekend, really. But that is why I think you saw the deals that they've done put them in a spot of flexibility, because, God, minus... I think Contreras, is Contreras the one who's, that's not fair to ask anybody. I think Contreras is the one who's under contract longer than anybody. Maybe Arenado? Either way, point being, with the pitching acquisitions this year, they were 1-year deals with Lynn and Gibson with a club option beyond 2024. And then the Sonny Gray deal, while a large amount of money, only a 3-year deal. So it gives the organization flexibility because they knew they had to navigate these waters with regard to the television. And I know it's boring and it's super, numbers oriented, but it is relevant because if the organization says, okay, we're going to spend $200 million in payroll and $60 million of that comes from the television revenue, if you lose that, there's going to be concern going forward with how much they were going to be able to spend, which is why I believe perhaps logic dictated from a baseball standpoint that they look at a rebuild, but they couldn't afford to have a rebuild because they needed the attendance with the uncertainty on the other side of the revenue, which is the television. So if you're uncertain about your television revenue, you can't also lower your attendance/concession revenue by having a rebuild and not generating the $3 million fans worth of ticket sales and concessions.
Yeah.
When does their deal with Diamond end?
It's going to be over after this year.
After this year, okay. So even
that was not the plan, but Diamond would be getting out of it. Now maybe things change here with this news from the New York Post.
Yeah,
this
that's
morning.
what I was asking, because this looks like they're getting all this money thrown into them. They're going to stay in business, and do the Cardinals continue with them?
If you're going to do a rebuild, I guess if they were going to do that, you really would only have to jettison 1 or 2 players making the really huge money to make a big difference. Like if you just sent Goldschmidt somewhere, you're saving, what, $30 million 1 year? That's a ton of money. Makes a big difference in the...
Yeah, but it's only this year. He's not around next year as it currently stands. And I also think, while from a baseball logic standpoint, and I'm reintroducing a story that maybe we haven't talked about, that over the weekend, both parties said they are not going to talk about an extension for him until the season, whereas the Cardinals have usually done these extensions during spring training. Maybe that's a baseball business decision, or maybe it's a television-related decision. I would think it's got a lot to do with the latter. And I understand them not wanting to talk about that much publicly, but really for the first time, I think it was this past Sunday or Monday, Bill DeWitt III got into that. And Derek Gould, I thought, did a really good job not only conveying it in the Post-Dispatch yesterday, but also with his line of questioning, because it's a substantial thing.
Mm-hmm.
From a fan standpoint, maybe people aren't interested in the numbers, although the numbers impact what the team does on the field. But just simply from a how can I watch the team standpoint, that has impacted a lot of people over the last few years. And I think it's played a role in, to an extent, a decreased amount of interest, not just with frustration with the team's performance, but also with the way that the Cardinals have not been as accessible as fans. Many grew up just going, okay, I'm going to go to Fox Sports Midwest. There's the game.
Yeah.
So you have 2 areas of great concern for the organization.
Tim, to your question, Arenado is an unrestricted free agent in 2028, while Wilson Contreras has a club option in 2028 before becoming unrestricted in 29.
They were talking about a Goldschmidt extension a couple months ago, am I right?
Yeah.
That's something.
But they talked about this weekend that they're not going to do it until during the season. They're going to kick it down the road.
I think you got to pull a ripcord on this team and kind of figure out what you are. If you're trying to save money, I'm with Doug. Goldschmidt, we're not a Goldschmidt away from being a title contender. Maybe the NL Central, maybe, but we're not even close in the same stratosphere as the Braves and Dodgers. And we have smart people they have to know that. You can't give Goldschmidt a 3-year extension worth like $110 million while you're also trying to figure out how you're going to put your games on TV. That's not.
Or even if you could just find a taker for Contreras. And
You're not going to find one of those.
Make Herrera your catcher. I don't think that would affect attendance very much, and you're saving, what, $18 million a year, $17, just right there.
Well, I get that, and I think that with this audience, and I'm not saying this audience is more whatever than another audience, but I can tell you, I think anyway, that the fan base is disappointed overall with the offseason. Not everyone, but there is a healthy portion of people going, that's it. 2 guys who are in their mid-late 30s, and then a 3-year contract for Sonny Gray, and that's what's going to bring you up from 71 to a division winner. And so if you were to trade Contreras away, and again, I agree with everybody saying that's not likely anyway, but if you were to do that, any sign to the fan base that you are going that direction, then only intensifies the frustration, confusion, whatever word you would want to use toward the way the Cardinals are approaching this offseason. And I'm telling you, my opinion, that if the Cardinals knew they had this $60 million coming in and that the Bally's deal was stable, that perhaps they would have looked at being more aggressive with turning the page at the trade deadline last year, or potentially after this year. But I don't think that they're in a position to do that because they're not comfortable with how many people would come through the gates, which of course impacts ticket sales, but then also concessions. And so they need that revenue stream if they are not certain about the Bally's deal. And so you can't necessarily engage in a rebuild. And for the record, if I had to bet, they will probably be lurking around the Central Division title. But they are very fortunate that they're in the Central and not any of the East or West division. As long as you're in the National League Central, American League Central this year, anybody can have a shot.
Right. Well, those tend to not be the bigger market clubs, with the exception of the Cubs and the White Sox. Not the bigger market clubs, and so they don't generate the income as the New Yorks and the LAs and probably the Nationals and a lot of those teams on the coast. It's a tough situation to be in. There are still players out there. There's a lot of free agents still out there.
The Cy Young Award winners out there.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the same position next year. I mean, you lose Gibson, you lose Lynn, so you need two pitchers again. Then Matz and Michaelis will be in the final year of their contract.
That's probably the better way to go. Just take it year by year instead of signing people to ridiculous long-term contracts when you don't know what they're going to be 4 or 5 years from now.
What? I don't think there's a formula in history, Doug, to say that that's the way to go. I'm saying there's a lot of bad pitching contracts out there as well, so I'm not totally against it. But to piecemeal a rotation together year in and year out is insane to me.
I don't know.
As the idea to get to it. Yeah,
what's insane is paying average starting pitchers $20 million or more a year and then saying, sure, we'll make that for 5 years. That's insanity. It costs so much, I just don't know that you can risk making mistakes like that. If you make a mistake for 1 year, you shrug your shoulders, oh, well, maybe we'll do better next time.
That mistake gets you 20 games out of first place. That mistake gets you 90-plus losses. Like, I just don't think you can piecemeal a whole entire rotation and say we are playoff ready. Oh, by the way, next year going to be a completely different rotation with the same catcher. It's
certainly not ideal, but until you can develop some of your own star pitchers, I don't know that you have much of a choice.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that either.
Well, so you're saying you got to go out and spend $150, $200 million on starting pitchers every year?
Well, not every year, Doug. I'm saying you can't do 1 year deals every year. I'm not saying 4 of your guys have to be $150 million players, not even close to that. But you put in the good kind of deal-friendly, team-friendly contracts with maybe a McGreevy or a Tinkamp, but you need somebody that is a top-of-the-line rotation guy. Maybe Sonny Gray is it, maybe not. I know Michaelis ain't it. I know Matz ain't it. I know Gibson and Lynn ain't it. So you have just a ton of question marks each and every year, and then you have to go out and try to compete with other teams each and every year for a 1 or 2 year deal. That sounds like a damn headache.
Well,
it sounds like a recipe for a nightmare.
It's probably what the reality is, though.
Yeah, well, right now it is for sure.
You try to develop, and you fill in the rest of your rotation for people that you can't develop in your own system. But I with so many, every starting pitcher get hurt at some point. And to give mediocre starting pitchers long-term contracts, I don't know that that's the answer.
Show me a team that's won a World Series with a mediocre rotation.
How much is he making a year?
Who's that?
Sonny Gray, 3 years for what he signed for?
70.
Yeah, so you make 22.5 or 23.5, something right around that.
75, maybe.
We'll look this up tonight when we get home, and we'll have that.
I have to call his agent.
Because Miles and Michaelis will make $30 million next year. Or Matz and Michaelis, $30 million
together.
55. So your starting rotation is about $75 million next year.
Sonny Gray only makes $10 million this year. They backloaded his deal. His luxury tax salary is $25.
Okay.
Which actually is not that bad for what you may get. You may get the 3 worst years of Sonny Gray's career. You never know.
Yeah.
So next year, our number one is making $2 million less than Matt's.
No, $12 million less.
Well, Gray will make a lot more next year.
Next year, but you're
Not
you're
next
talking
year,
about
25.
2024, and Jackson's talking 25.
Yeah, this year.
I think this year we're in for some real problems.
Oh, why?
I said it last year. People grilled me and said I said they wouldn't win 80 games, and people said I'm an idiot and terrible take, and it ended up happening. But like, I think this is the same team. Sonny Gray may be that, that piece that everybody's looking at is he's not the saving grace to anything. The offense is the exact same. Like what we have is the exact same. A little touch bit better of a bullpen, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to bank on some of these young dudes coming in mid-season and throwing gas, because I just don't see where the huge improvement was. I just don't.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't take much to improve on what Wainwright did. So.
Well, he's an innings eater. Lynn and Gibson are innings eater. Didn't Lynn and Gibson and Michaelis all three combine for top 5 and hits given up and home runs given up? Like
Runs,
that
yeah.
doesn't change just by a new year. They don't become studs. This is going to be bullpen session a lot of these games. And I just don't see where the improvement is. So I think they may win 5 more games, 6 more games.
Yeah.
They're still 15 plus out, and they're still not making the playoffs.
Well, don't get down on the club in January.
Doug, they already said they're pretty much done. So this is the team that you're going to be bringing to spring training.
Was it possible Walker will be improved, and Gorman and Donovan and Wynn, those guys will be a little bit better? Another year under
certainly
their belt?
think Walker will take that step. Wynn can't get any worse, or he's going to be back in the minors.
Oh, boy.
Edmund has an injury issue that he's coming off of. Like, if him and Wynn both aren't hitting, I always look at the worst case scenarios, but again, I did that last year and it all came to fruition. I just don't see this pitching being very good. End quote.
Oh, you're done. That was like a mic drop right there?
Full stop.
When you say end quote?
Well, I figured I didn't want to go on any further.
Okay.
Quit crapping on Gray, Darren. That's from Todd Reesing.
I said we could potentially get 3 of his worst years. You don't know. I said it was a good contract. I said $25 million for a guy that in the top 10 in terms of every other rankings and the starting pitcher realm. That's $25 million is about average. I didn't say it was an overpay. I don't see that in being he's helping 10 or 15 games on this season to make the playoffs. That's kind of what you're asking him to do. I just don't see that. But he's not a terrible signing.
Stephen Wildwood says, to be fair, you completely crap on the team every year. Here's the questions. Will Gibson and Lynn be better than Wainwright and Flaherty? Will Gray be better than Montgomery? Will Michaelis and Matz be better than themselves last year? That's from Chairman Steve, and he's in Wildwood.
But those questions are to see if they're going to be the same team that they were last year. I don't see any comparison to where they're going to be significantly better. I agree with those. Those will be the comparisons from last year to this year. But you tell me that's a playoff team, or those comparisons are going to get you 15 plus more wins. I don't see that. I could be wrong. Matt could be a stud. He looked like it a little bit last year. He could put in a full season. Couldn't even say that without laughing. But
yeah, Doug, is that a bad sign?
I don't like it.
Can someone who actually watches games please chime in with projections for this season? Full stop. Was the full stop necessary there on the back end?
Do I not get any credit for saying this team was exactly what it turned into? I said this a year ago today. This team would win under 80 games. And it did that. Like, there's no credit given. And I have to watch 162 games to give the same, critique to a team this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's watched this year's team.
No,
this is all projection-based anyways. I just don't see the improvement from last year. Last year, they did play 162 games. So you can compare what they did last year to maybe what they're going to do this year. Can we trade texters? I'm serious. Can we trade texters? I'm going to get involved with Frank. I'm going to see if a couple other stations want to get involved with some moving and shaking.
We're going to trade some of Frank Cusimano's texters.
I'll take big races. I'm honestly, at that point, I'll take big races and give you 2 of the Harrison brother Matthew who sent the same damn 10 texts 50 times in a row.
He wants to know if Iggy's cutting the names.
God, him and Big Old Fan kind of took a heel turn. They're just insufferable, man.
He did.
Oh, good. So it was worth it.
Now we can trade him. We got his money. Now we can trade him.
Take a big old fan, too. Get him out of here.
Oh. Is it possible that last year's problems could be blamed mostly on bad umpiring? The arbiters had something against us?
Now you're talking, Doug.
Big umpire, yeah.
Managing.
I'm tired of big umpires.
Well, New Parr's going to have an all-star year, so.
In the 75 games he plays, yeah.
I'll take Plowboy's baseball takes all day. He's spot on. That's from the 618. Plowboy is 100% correct. That's from the total package. Go off King Plowsy Rarbach.
Rarbach? Is it Patch?
I don't know.
It's Yaft and
Biatch.
I hope they're better. Miserable last year.
It was a rough year. The first really horrible year we've had in a while.
And you had Wainwright, you felt bad every time he went out there because he's just trying to look for a nice send-off and giving up 8 in the first.
You had a rough go there for a while, yeah.
Okay, you were down 6-1 because the previous 6 years you were wrong. So congratulations on your big win last year. That's from Chairman Steve in Wildwood, Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year 2023.
A year prior, I never said they were missing the playoffs. I never said they were going to lose 90 games. Probably said they weren't going to win the World Series and not make a deep playoff run. I don't know exactly what I said, but this isn't the 1 year last year where I was adamant about them being terrible. I'm sure I bashed Mo and some of the signings from years past, but I don't know giving exact predictions or not. I can't remember.
Bunch of St. Charles haters supporting Darren. Big shocker. I love Steve. That's from Todd Reesing.
Oh, I guess you want him
guy putting on the blinders, walking right into Busch Stadium, and just loving it. They're so blind. They can't, it's insane. You can be negative on a team and still enjoy the team and still like the team. You can just be critical. You can't. That'd be a terrible way to live. It'd just be, oh, yeah, great signing. Oh, yeah, great team. Oh, yeah, great team. Gonna go. Oh, yeah.
The Cardinals probably feel like no matter how many millions they spend to placate the fan base, they can't get past the hurdle of big umpire.
Big umpire.
That needs to be a new
what people don't understand, I know that fans just think they should spend, New York Mets money every year and go out and get this guy, get this guy, get this guy. Baseball is a business like anything else. You have a budget. And just because you have money and your team's worth $1 billion, you have money, you still have a budget. And if your budget is $200 million and say, well, we can get this pitcher, it's going to put us at $250 million, well, it's over budget. We got to do it some other way. So that's why you sign a Lynn. That's why you sign a Gibson. That's why you have to stay in your budget. Look, if I own this team, I would tell players, don't throw baseballs into the crowd anymore for the fans. Those things cost like $45 a piece.
The baseballs cost $45 a piece?
Balls
they don't cost $45 a piece.
No, they're pretty expensive.
See, you wouldn't be signing $20 million
I would still say, quit throwing balls.
They probably buy 100,000 balls every year and get them for about $3 a piece.
I would like to see how much they spend on baseballs every year.
Well, that's all part of engaging with the fan base.
I don't care. Save the money.
There's a lot of people, the one thing they want when they go to a game is a baseball.
I know, but too bad. You're not getting any more. We spend money on these. We're keeping them.
You could probably add another quarter to the hot dog price and cover that nut on the baseball loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd also put, during batting practice, I put a screen out there in the outfield. They keep hitting all those home runs over there, and there's balls out of the stadium.
These are the things they worry about at the Little League level.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Who's going to get the next dozen baseballs?
I would worry about everything.
That's a Little
like
League
that
baseball
to save money. At the end of the year, say, hey, we saved $85,000 in not giving baseballs out.
Yeah, and if I'm interviewing for a president of baseball operations, they come in with a $500 sweater wrapped around their neck, I'm gone. It's not even, there's no second interview.
Some kid walks away with a baseball at some Cardinal game, you may have just got a fan for life.
The guy who doesn't know his Social Security number is now going to explain Major League Baseball budgets. Got it. That's from Jonathan Mardukas.
I know my number. They just said it didn't work.
It must have been the wrong number.
No. It didn't work.
I gave it to the guy yesterday, and it was fine.
Today on Renters Roundtable, we learn you how to spell budget and might even look up a definition. That's from Ward Gerbil.
I like the term learn you.
You like that?
Learn you.
It's an old money term.
I just think they could save a lot of money in ways other than not putting baseballs in the stands.
Yeah, and you go into the dugout before the game. They got buckets of sunflower seeds and buckets of bubble gum. Buy your own. You guys are all making $15-20 million a year.
And now
we don't need to buy you bubble gum and sunflower seeds. Bring your own.
They're buying the batting gloves then, right?
Yes,
You're
bring your
worried
own.
about the nickel and dime. You're worried about the nickel and dime expenses and not the big
picture. It adds up.
Imagine trying to get a big free agent and you tell them, yeah, you got to provide your own batting gloves, your own sunflower seeds and bubble
Look, most of you guys got wives and girlfriends. We're not going to have any lunch in there or pre-dinner stuff. pack your own lunch. Bring it in. Have your wife make you something. Bring it in with you.
Oh, man.
Morning balds and triple chins. Rolled through my local coffee spot this morning, which just so happens to be adjacent to an Aldi grocery store. Yeah, is Mr. Licks okay? I saw him checking the little grocery buggies for leftover quarters. Maybe him and your other whack packer who is selling an autographed book by Gaga's makeup artist for $400 and a stack of towels that wipes his grint for the last 30 years on Marketplace for a handful of buffalo nickels and tilt tokens. Thanks, that's from Maury and Little Jack. Got a great hack for cleaning stainless steel kitchenwares. Let us know if the remnants of what's her name are still stuck to your hallway slop sink. Doug, Maury and Little Jack.
Okay, 2 of them together.
Well, I'm not selling any towels. And 2, why don't you go on eBay and see what that book goes for? It goes for $799.
Does it really?
I'm giving it to you for $400.
Weren't I thought I saw a post about bathroom towels from you, or went that like a Photoshop?
Bathroom towels.
How much does the book cost?
You're selling linens now,
$800, Jackson.
$800?
What book is
For an
this
autograph
again?
book. I saw it yesterday on eBay. Terry Richardson signed Lady Gaga book, $799. I'm giving it to you for $400.
You're not giving it to them. You're selling it to them.
I'm selling it to you for $400. If you're a Gaga fan and you know you're never going to meet her and get an autograph, here's your chance. If you don't want it, don't buy it. I don't care.
Come on now.
I think the Pope could sign a Bible and it wouldn't sell for $800.
Well, there you go. Who's more popular?
Yeah, I guess.
Somebody Photoshop towels? Because everything I put on Marketplace seems to go on the fan page somehow.
You know you've jumped a shark once you start selling bath towels.
I'm not selling bath
And they're
towels.
used?
I need some bath towels.
They're used bath towels?
No, I'm not selling bath towels.
Any skid marks on there?
I got nice fluffy towels. A couple of them I stole from Hito, but
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I found one for $500. The one for $800 might have sold.
We had a towel sponsor once that gave us a couple towels. They're the best towels I've ever had in my life. Still have
Is
them.
that Brooklinen? We had to go to New York to get them.
yeah.
I forget who it was. They
It
brought
just
in a
wasn't
couple
worth
towels.
it for me to spend $700 to go get $30 sheets.
No, but these came in.
But I bet they're baller.
Straight from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Still
No, I'm not
use them.
selling towels. And somebody called me the other day and he said, "Yeah, how come every time you put something on Marketplace, it shows up on the fan page?" I don't know. Somebody's following me on there and they see it and they look, Iggy's selling this. So what if I'm selling it? Make a little bit of extra money. There's something just laying around the house. I'm never going to do anything with it.
Sure.
Well,
Someone called you yesterday.
no, DM me and said, "Here, Gaga books on the fan page." I said, "Well, everything I try to sell on Marketplace. Isn't that what Marketplace is for, to sell stuff?"
Yeah.
I got rid of all my bobbleheads. I got rid of all my Playboys.
$50 you got for them?
Thank goodness for that. I got $200 for the Playboys. I said 100 Playboys for $100, and I found out I had like 200 of them. So I split them up and sold them twice.
Isn't it nice to have those boxes out of your life?
Yeah, they
and
are.
Stop
Well, they
dragging
wouldn't have fit in the
around?
closet. My closet is half this. Both closets, even my hall closet, is smaller than my other closet.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have fit in there, so I had to get rid of them. And I got room for my golf clubs in there.
Oh, wow. Stephen Wilder wants to make a bet. I don't know who he wants to bet with. I have been critical of the decisions made by Cardinals management, obviously, but I think I go into the season more like Doug. Wait and see what happens. I think the offseason moves were helpful. We dropped DeYoung, got rid of Tyler. Contreras issues won't exist, and Walker and Gorman will have another year. We will be better than last year by at least 20 games.
Wow.
$100, boy. And I say we because the amount of rent I pay to DeWallet.
Oh.
That is from Steve, and he's in Wildwood. He's a
So
chairman.
he thinks he'll be 91 and 71.
Boy, you
this
got to
year.
take that bet, Plowsy, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you get 91 and under.
What went the bet
90
again?
and under, the Cardinals will be 20 games better.
Oh, I'll
So that
take
means that
bet
90,
all
90 that
day.
you get, if they win 90 or less, you win.
What are the is it straight up, or is he getting like 10-1? It seemed too good to be true.
No,
this is
straight
not
up.
a 91.
It's a $100 bet.
Just say
Over
yes
under.
before it changes.
Yeah, I'll certainly do the bet. I think it's
The bet has been booked, Doug.
Okay.
Can't wait till
I've got to write
September.
it down.
Ed
We'll
Herman
forget.
is here. I got to make sure I get Ed Herman. And Ed
Oh.
Herman of Brown and Crouppen is in studio, or is going to be in studio. I just got a text from Jackson. Jackson, I don't know when you texted me. I'm sorry. Oh, a while ago.
It's all good. I'll bring him in.
All right, Doug. Ed Herman is here.
All right. Well, he can always drop in. Ours has always been the type of show where friends feel they can drop in at any time.
Yeah. He's gonna give us knowledge, and yet I don't even know what it's gonna be. I just know
No.
we're about to be given knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Herman, Brown and Crouppen.
Well, here he comes now.
I walk it in.
Hello, Ed.
We are hungry for your knowledge today. We don't know what it's going to be. We just know you're going to give us some.
Well, I don't know what you guys were talking about.
We were talking about the Cardinals, and one of our listeners just bet the Plowhawk here $100 that the Cardinals would win at least 91 games this year, so a 20-game improvement.
Okay, yeah, that's a tall order. I love the optimism, and apparently he can afford to lose 100, and I appreciate that as well. So that's good. Listen, it could happen. I mean, we're seeing more and more teams with dramatic turnarounds. I don't think that they've done enough to point to a 20-game swing. Even if we say last year was maybe a little bit of a fluke, a little bit of bad luck will get you 5 more wins. It's not going to get you 20 more wins. And they added a lot of potentially quality innings to the staff. But I don't think that they've added anything that would make up another 15 wins beyond that. But I love the wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It could happen. I want the, last time I was here, you may, recall, it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was right when the Plowhawk had gotten engaged.
Exactly. Yep. And it was during that meeting I learned about Iggy's 500 women.
Sure you did.
I was fascinated. I have to be honest with you. And
it's something that sticks with you for a while.
Well, I'm a math guy. I'm like immediately in my mind, I start doing the math. I'm like one of those people that, like, if I go to a show and it's sold out and I can't believe this person sold out the crowd, I start thinking, what do you think everybody paid here? How many seats does this hold? What is he bringing in? How much overhead does he have? So I hear 500, and I was trying to figure out how old you were, and I figured you were around 60 or so. I assumed in my head that, maybe a person as prolific as you've been in that area probably started fairly young, I'm guessing in the 14 or 15-year-old range.
I didn't lose my virginity till the back seat.
Doug, is Plowhawk?
Is his mic on? Lousy. Now try it.
There you go.
No, I didn't lose my virginity till my first year in college. I went to spring break in the back seat in Fort Lauderdale, so about 18.
And do you remember the gentleman?
God burn!
First of all, you know what? That's not an insult.
Yeah, his name was Tim.
This is a person I would expect.
No, not you.
Listen, we're living in progressive times.
No.
I'm just assuming that given all that years of experience, a man like Iggy can't limit himself to half the population.
True, and doesn't.
I can't fault him for that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
That's
just
your
like
own
Game of
business.
Thrones when, what's his name? Oberon, men and women. And he goes, "You like women too?" He goes, If you just stay to one person, you're losing half of the pleasures in this world.
There you go.
I think that's verbatim.
That's was that Pedro Pascal?
It definitely was. That was a quote.
Do you remember how they popped his head too?
Spoiler alert, Doug.
Popped his head.
That's how when he got killed in that match with the Mountain. They just squeezed his head and popped it like a grape. It was one of the most chilling moments, and you don't see it, but you feel like you saw it because you kind of hear it, and there's kind of that sploosh. And it's just like in Hitchcock with the knife in the shower. You think you're seeing it, but you would never actually see it.
What about Phil Leotardo at the end of Sopranos?
That's a perfect example of a head popping that in your mind you think you saw it, but you didn't actually see it. But the sound was so vivid, and they set it up so nicely. Anyway, I did the math.
Okay.
And, even at that, it comes out to about a different experience every month. Does that feel about right?
Oh, back in my heyday? See, what people don't understand is my 5 years in Bermuda. I mean, there was sometimes 2-3 different ones a week.
Really?
So do the math there. I mean, I was there for 5 years. I would come home for 2 months. So I was there for 50 months. All right,
God.
and you're thinking maybe sometimes 2-3 a week, sometimes 4 or 5 a week.
Sounds like he got lost in a lot of Bermuda triangles.
do the math. I mean, you're talking about almost 300 just in Bermuda.
Oh, my God. First of all, let me say this. Do we have some kind of... What is the citizenship with Bermuda? That's not a U.S. territory, right?
English?
So are we allowed to go? And if so, when can we go?
Yeah, we need to do a remote.
Well, you'd have to have brown skin glistening in the sun, have your hair slicked back.
So I basically have to be a boy of summer.
Every time he says that, I go down Henley.
It's true.
They basically have the parents pawning their daughters off to you.
Iggy had a lot of the parents who he would cook tableside loved Iggy, and then they would have Iggy take their daughters out.
Is that right?
Yeah, they would say, our daughter's really just bored hanging out with the family. Is there any place you guys go after work?
Never happened. And
what would you tip the parents for that? What would you tip them? What would the tip be?
A free flambe.
My God, how ugly were
Bananas Foster?
I mean, and not to cast aspersions, but how ugly were these daughters? that their parents were tipping you to take them off and show
They
them
were
a
tipping
good
me
time.
for the cooking, but then I took family snorkeling the next day.
Nobody.
I had sex, and now Dad is dead.
Nobody
God,
tips a
imagine
cook with their daughter.
Banging the daughter
That's it.
and then
They're
going
like,
out with mom and
You know,
dad.
this is some delicious guacamole you've made tableside. Wink, wink. Here's $200.
And our daughter.
Yeah. And then the next, I love that you would give it to their daughter and then take them all snorkeling the next day. What did that feel like psychologically? You feel like king of the world?
No, I was just a very nice guy. So if I could take the family snorkeling and not knowing that I slept with their daughter the night before.
Do you think
Maybe
that
they
would
did
have?
know, I don't know.
Would that have changed how they felt about you? Would they have
probably not.
stuck their thumb in your little thing, your little snorkel thing?
No, it's just, and then I knew they'd come back the next night and they would tip me again. You know, if they're giving me $50 to do all their tableside service and I take them snorkeling, I become a friend of theirs, and I know they're going to be at this hotel for a week. So I'm pocketing $300 by taking these people out.
Have any of these people tracked you down on social media to introduce you to your children?
Yeah.
Have you ever?
Gotta be a kid.
Have you ever done 23andMe?
I'm sorry.
Have you done 23andMe? Have you done any of those to see if you have any?
No. If they want to tell me they had a kid by me, they probably didn't want nothing to do with me after that, so they're not going to tell me they're pregnant.
Why? You were so nice to them. You took their family snorkeling. I mean, it sounds to me like they were ready to take you on as a son-in-law.
2 weeks ago was the aunt.
If we could raise enough money amongst the listeners, will you go and do a 23andMe and let us see how many relatives you have out there?
I don't even know what that is.
A 23andMe, what they do is it analyzes your DNA, but because it has such a large data bank of people's DNA, it can actually tell you in the system whether you have any parents or siblings or cousins or children, or half siblings, just based on DNA matches. A lot of people have found people on there that they were stunned to see that they had that, related out there. And listen, I'm not one to stir controversy, folks. No. That said,
you're the title sponsor. You can do what you want.
Well, I'm just saying. I wonder if is there an interest out there? Can the listeners weigh in? Would we like Iggy to get a 23andMe, and so we could find out how many children that he's fathered who have put themselves on the database, desperately looking for somebody to call dad.
Right.
I mean,
maybe get some money
that
from
expensive. It looks like it's like $229.
Okay, so we're going to need every listener to throw in what, $10?
That's correct. We're about 22 listeners.
Well, I'm going to need some money myself. So throw something to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
There's a margin built in.
That's it. Iggy is going to do what they call a match. Only his match is a little different. He would like $1 for every dollar that you contribute.
If I'm
So
putting my life out there for you people to see if I have any kids, and I need something out of this.
Quite frankly, it could wind up costing you a fortune.
No, I could make money. Maybe one of these kids is like the president and CEO of a company that
I could. What if?
Hey, son,
is it possible?
Take care of daddy.
Yeah. Could it be? Could you be the father of Taylor Swift? Have you done the math?
Wow.
Oh,
have you done the math
goodness.
on that? Where you were, how old she is? I would think that I don't know what I saw a picture of her mother. She might have been from Bermuda. I don't know what they look like in Bermuda because if they're English. But
Beautiful,
you say
I'm
that
sure.
they're- What do they? I'm not. What is a Bermuda? Is there a?
They speak English there, right?
They speak English, but do they have a look? Is there a look that one would associate with the Bermudans?
No.
A lot of
They
shorts. Bermuda
They don't really have an accent. They have a slight accent, unless you're British. But Bermudians have, I don't know, a slight accent where certain words they say.
Call me crazy, but I see a little bit in your eyes and in Taylor Swift's eyes. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
guys, I don't. What do you think I'm making it up?
No, I
You
think
see
there
it.
might be something there. This is exciting, Iggy. You might be a billionaire.
No,
And Taylor's so talented, and you obviously have Iggy, who has a bunch of talent.
I don't know.
Well, clearly,
And very humble.
And listen,
Slept with anybody in
I don't want to get into her psychology, but she, clearly, she's got a lot to say, and she gets a lot of affection from the world. And yet, I believe in my heart that she would trade all of that affection just to reconnect with her father,
With Dad.
And maybe that's why she goes through so many relationships.
I think so.
She's trying to find Papa Iggy.
He's got daddy issues.
Yeah.
She has a father figure, but I haven't seen the DNA on him any more than I've seen it on you.
I've never seen the father. Now, I know that I've said that I've slept with every snack bar girl at Redbird Lanes back in the day, and I had a guy.
That's a bit of a brag. Ed.
I had a guy who's like 40 that said my mom worked at Redbird Lanes behind the snack bar.
Oh my!
So,
and
he
you
wants
said
a DNA
and
test.
you said son.
Yeah, son.
bring
He
it
wants a
in.
DNA
Bring it in
test.
here. Was that a bowling alley?
Yeah.
Where I've never heard of Redbird.
It was very nice. It was at Hampton and Gravois.
Big on
Hampton and Gravois.
Yeah,
Okay.
just off of number 17 at St. Louis Country Club.
How do you like that? How many women work there? I just am trying to figure out how many of the 500 were Bird Lane girls.
5 of them are from Redbird Lanes.
5.
Wow, is that right?
I like that he didn't discriminate. He gave 100% of them. Because how would it have felt? How would it have felt? Because what if he'd only been with 4 of them?
To be left
How do you
out.
think the 5th one would have felt? I mean, seriously. I mean, that's not something you want to go through life. Even if they don't want the experience, you still want to know that you could have and you made the cut.
Yes.
It's like being accepted to colleges, even if you're not going to go there. You still
Right.
want to know that they wanted you.
Well, Iggy's told us in the past that he had suave. He said that he had suave, which could lead to 500 romantic
So what is
relationships.
the shampoo? Are you referring to the shampoo?
Well, that's what he said. He had suave.
No, I use Aussie shampoo. I mean, if I was bisexual, it'd probably be 600 because I probably turned down 100 guys in my life.
Is that right? Well, you know what? I have a pretty good following in the gay community. I was not.
So do I.
I'm not
love
bisexual.
gay people. I've just never slept with them.
I wish I honestly. I mean, I wish I had those kind of overall appetites. But I don't. Because I've done well in that community. They were very, very good people. Very receptive. Very receptive toward it. Because ever since I grew the beard, apparently there's a sect within the community that is very beard driven.
Bears.
Really?
Yeah.
Bears.
That's right. Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah.
I have a lot of gay friends, and a lot of them think that I am bisexual.
Yeah.
I'm not, but a lot of my gay friends say, I think you're bisexual.
I think you get maybe a.
What vibe?
I know you could see the vibe. He's got a vibe. There's a vibe going on there.
I'm
There's
gay
a
for
vibe.
Doug.
There's a vibe. Do you think now? Because this is something 20 years ago, maybe 30
I
years
thought
ago.
we were talking baseball.
We could talk baseball.
Wow, Iggy, not
What do you
happy
got?
with
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. Hey, why? Is there a particular baseball player you're attracted to?
A lot of them.
Wow.
Okay, wait a second. That's going to be today's question.
Archer.
Listen,
Chris Archer's.
if you had to have
Chris Archer and Minwoo Lee on the PGA Tour, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I was all right. Chris Archer's his answer. I'm just saying if you were
And Billy Joe Armstrong as far as musicians. He's coming to town, so maybe I'll hook
So
up
these
there.
would
He's
these
bisexual.
would these fall under the category of what we would call these days? Is it acceptable to have a man crush? One of these things that says I'm not gay, but if I were gay, here's who I'd be into. Are these your people?
I've said I've had man crushes on Ron Duguay, former Rangers player, Robert Smith, singer of The
Random.
Cure, Billy Joe Armstrong. Yeah,
I guess I'm probably into the gays, though.
What do you think? What's the common characteristic there? What is it that you're seeing in those guys that are? Why them? Why?
I'm
it's kind of an
gay.
eclectic group.
Just their presence with Billy Joe Armstrong, Robert Smith, their stage presence. The way
I mean,
they
I will
act.
say when he sings that "Wake Me Up When September Ends," that one, I could see that.
And
I could see
Ron Duguay, just a hunk. That's all there is with that.
Okay.
Wait a second.
I think so.
He's dating Sarah Palin now.
Listen, I hate what she got. She's not with that Todd anymore.
No,
They got
they
divorced.
got divorced,
Todd
yeah.
and her no
Oh,
longer together.
Jesus Christ! You can't hit me with that first thing in the morning. When did this happen?
Probably 3
If there
years
was
ago.
one couple that I was pretty sure was going to stand the test of
Todd
time,
and Sarah?
it was going to be Todd and Sarah. Because I figured if he put up with all that nonsense,
I
he was
think he
good
had
to
an
go.
affair. I think he had an affair, and she caught him, and now she's dating Ron Duguay.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
I
Since
think-
when did that
When
become
I type in Ron
a
Duguay,
deal
Sarah
breaker?
Palin is like, you mean Sarah Palin? So.
Don Hoffman texted in, Ed, that Iggy also has a crush on golfer Adam Scott and actor Mandy Patinkin.
Oh, well, wait a second. I have a crush on Mandy Patinkin as well.
There you go. You guys are going to fight over it.
But you know what it is?
How's the
If
guy?
you don't follow Mandy Patinkin and his wife, Catherine Grody, if you don't follow them on TikTok, you're missing out on something that will make you.
Oh, is that right?
It is. It's the emotional equivalent of watching Ted Lasso. It gives you the feels. He's so emotive in how he talks about things. He has such a joy of life, and the two of them have such an enviable relationship. You look at that and you're like, well, geez, if I could have that, who wouldn't want to be married for 50 years? I mean, they seem to have such a chemistry. between them. Yeah, no, Mandy Patinkin, you put him on the short list. That man is a gem. He's a gift to the world.
I watched every Criminal Minds episode twice, I feel like, and I didn't actually know his name.
Well,
and we love The Princess Bride as well. So
right.
It feels
Watch
like
him in Homeland. He's very good in Homeland.
He is a versatile guy, and of course, none of that capitalizes on the talent that got him in the business, which was singing. He's a Broadway actor. He was the lead in Evita. He originated the part that Antonio Banderas played in the movie, and he won a Tony for it. And if you lived in New York, I lived in New York at the time, you saw him constantly because they would show a preview for the show in a commercial, and his singing voice does not match his speaking or his acting style.
Like Jim Neighbors.
He has a very high voice. Yeah, I have a Jim Neighbors album. I should bring in that LP. Yeah. I don't know how it wound up in the folks' collection. Most of their stuff was pretty cool. And then right in the middle of all of it, they had an album where Jim Neighbors was singing and an album where Tony Randall was singing. And I'm like, were these novelties? But apparently back then, everybody, if you were on TV, you got to sing an album.
Oh, that's right. You had an album.
You did. I've got a lot of. That's a good collection to have. There are some albums out there that you would be shocked as to the people. Leonard Nimoy has an album. You can listen to Leonard Nimoy's,
Spock.
and he takes it seriously. I thought it was a joke, but no, it's these. Everyone, it must have been in their contract, should get an album. What about you guys? Man crushes. You can be honest. Well, this is a safe space.
No, I know it's a very safe space. Doug, what guys are we into?
Geez, I never even thought about it, really. I've always been a big Babe Ruth fan. Does that count as a man crush?
Well,
just because I think he's one of the most fascinating athletes
he is. Well,
in history.
I guess it would be that could be a man crush. I mean,
no, that's just a fan. A man crush would be if you were gay, you would sleep with him.
Idris Elba.
Well,
listen,
Idris Elba. Maybe this is his time.
Bend me over, and we would definitely. I would need some hospital visits after that.
Wonderful.
I think Idris Elba is a good call, especially when he's in his regular accent, so that you get the benefit of the
British accent. Doug, if you were to sleep with a guy, would you prefer him be British?
I wouldn't care.
Then whoever plays...
No, it's an Irish guy. I'd be like, occupy me.
Now is not the time to have no standards. You have to care. There has to be some line there. For me, speaking of the British, like if I had to pick a man crush right now, it would be Paul Hollywood, the baker from the Great British Baking Show.
Why? Jackson, are you familiar with this? Or you don't have headphones. Jackson's our producer. Jackson's our cinephile and television expert. Are you familiar with him? Okay.
No,
Jackson's not familiar with him. I know you don't.
What? Are you kidding me? No, folks. Let me tell you, the Great British Baking Show is a great show to watch. You don't have to be into baking. It's incredibly relaxing, and he has piercing blue eyes and an incredible skill. And that's what gets you. He could be very critical of their baking, but this guy knows how to bake himself, and so he's got the credibility. You can't deny him that.
But Paul Hollywood is.
What's he baking?
He's baking anything you need.
Cookies?
Oh, well, first of all, and we like to call them biscuits in Great Britain.
He's definitely going to put it in the oven.
So yeah, they'll do. There are 10 episodes in a season. There's biscuit week. There's pastry week.
Nice.
There's meat pie week. Yeah, they do a different thing every week.
Sounds good.
Again, British. we like meat in our pies. We don't always like a sweet pie. Sometimes we like a savory pie. See, I say we because I'm going. That's the motherland.
You're British? Are you?
Well,
going way back?
I think all of us to some extent, right? I mean, just as Americans, we kind of came from there.
Some connection.
Living in
I mean, not my people, of course. My people are all Eastern European.
Living in Bermuda for 5 years, I learned all those things because it's all English. So they did say biscuits, and they said, "Let's go. I got to go to the loo," and
Did they still carry any bitterness down there at all toward the Americans for kicking their behinds in the war?
No.
It's not their fault. I think at their height, the British Empire had something like 60% of the known discovered world.
So the sun never sets on the British Empire.
It's too big. It's like have you ever had a property that was way more property than you needed? Mm-hmm. It's just a lot to take care of. It's a lot to clean. Very hard to manage.
Especially when it's hard to get places.
Yeah, I think you're better off just having just the amount of space you actually need and can tend to.
Yeah.
Ed, follow-up from one of our listeners. He won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year. His name is Stephen Wildwood. He's a chairman.
Congratulations. That's spectacular.
And he wants to know if you could examine Iggy on... You watch trans porn, correct?
Not on the regular basis, no?
Well, wait a second. First of all, what is considered a regular basis for porn watching? We need a frame
to pop up and it's on and I see it. It's
we need
there.
a frame.
I don't go searching
But
for
those
it.
are
You ever watching programs and trans pornography pop up?
But wait a second. It's an algorithm. If it's popping up, it's not. Nothing pops up randomly on the internet. Like the stuff that comes up in my feeds or this stuff. No, look, porn is not random. I'm guessing a lot of your stuff comes up involving what? People and relatives, aunts.
People I know.
Aunts.
People I've interviewed, I usually watch a lot of their videos.
Really? Now that's a lot of fun. Did I see that you guys had the two teachers on?
Oh yeah, we got.
Why don't you have me on that episode?
I think that was.
I mean, the
before
last
the
I checked, that was the title sponsor.
I think it was before you got on board.
And then you bring
Brianna Coppage. Yeah,
you bring
She's
her
our
in.
Friend. Yeah, she wasn't in studio, but Erica and Drew Swings, which are the ones that shot with her, that then led to her getting terminated or whatever wound up happening in that school district.
And
they were in studio.
What's the other one? Megan something around there?
Megan was on via YouTube with us, yeah.
Well, they're only in Belleville. Why aren't they in studio live?
Brianna's always traveling now.
Well, they live in.
Oh, jeez. Now they're living. Now they're too good for you.
They're expatriates.
They live in Sullivan, Missouri. They're not going to drive from Sullivan, Missouri to come in here.
Brianna was on a pace.
That far? How
Brianna
far
was
is Sullivan?
Oh, it's 45 minutes or so.
It's nothing.
Brianna was on a pace to make like $1 million a month or so.
But you have to figure that that's a temporary spike.
That's right.
You can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't sustain that.
If you just do it for
if you were to
a year or two.
annualize what she was doing in a month, yes, but you're exactly right. It's going to drop off, and it probably already has.
You know, it seems odd. And, I'm all in favor of sex work. We've talked about that maybe in the past. But it is odd that she's on there and doing all these videos, and God bless her, she can do what she wants with her body. I am not attempting to control her. That said, it seems weird to have to pay taxes on that. It's like I'm doing this act, this very aggressive act with this guy that I just met, and I'm gonna pay taxes on what I make on this. It just seems odd. Am I wrong on this?
I've never thought about it through that lens.
I mean, think about it. Have you
I mean,
ever?
our hooker 1099 then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like how specific is the 1099 going to be? I don't know. Do you have to get a? Do you have to get? Well, you're going to have to get that from every John. It's
then you have to
listen. We got to give
the form at the end of the year.
You do. You guys say, listen. Before I can have sex with you, I'm going to need a W-9.
Imagine a hooker having a ledger. Okay. After you get done, she just puts it in the book.
Yeah, that's it. I need your federal tax ID.
It's no crazier than paying property taxes. I mean, you buy a car, you pay taxes when you buy it, and then once a year they want more taxes.
That's right. That's true. And somehow we've kind of gotten accustomed to have to pay taxes on a car. I just feel like the oddest thing about if paid for sex were legalized, I just think the idea of having to pay income taxes on that just seems wrong.
Well, I don't think they claim a lot of that anyway.
Well, now they're not claiming any of it because it's all technically illegal. Although I guess what they're doing on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, they absolutely are getting taxed on it. No question about it.
Of course, they're
no
getting
question
taxed.
about it. Sure.
And on the tips,
same deal.
Listen, you know what? I guess it's only fair. I mean, there are people out there working in bad weather on the power lines, and they're getting taxed.
Yeah.
And they're really getting screwed.
Have you thought about an OnlyFans account for yourself, Ed?
The only problem is I'd have one subscriber. That would be my mother, and I already pay my mom's living expenses. I can't pay for her subscription. I can't pay for her subscription to my channel.
Iggy, 23andMe, $229, and we've already got enough commitments in the text inbox to more than cover it. Are you in?
Yeah, if I get the extra.
I think that's a deal that we can agree
to participate in this.
What happened to you're the title sponsor and you could do whatever you want?
Well, we're doing it.
No. I think we should do it. What do you think? I mean, I don't want to open up a can of worms that leads to litigation, and yet.
Well, then I'll use you as my lawyer.
Handle this situation.
A case like this. Before? Listen, I've never had one, but I can learn on the fly.
Now, have serious question: is there potential for back child support? Like, if we run into like this, are we going to put Iggy in a spot where he owes like $700 a month for?
Yeah.
Just because we find out that I have a kid doesn't mean they're going to find out.
Right. I mean, what are the chances that these half Bermudese children are listening to the podcast?
And they'd all be 40 years old now anyway, wouldn't they?
But you can do back child support,
you can not at that point, and it wouldn't really be their claim anyway. I think it probably would be the claim of the parent But then the question becomes: did they make any real effort to find you? Can they, prove it? I don't think he'd have much.
Not
to
a lot
worry
of downside,
about
Iggy. Nothing but upside.
No, but there could be emotional downside.
Just give me something for my.
You have to. It could be like that movie that Vince Vaughn was in, where he was the sperm donor. I don't remember what it was called, but he had like tons of kids all over the place.
Yeah.
That could be you, but those were not. Those were your donations to these people's children.
Very rarely did I go bareback.
Listen, listen. I'm glad. Listen, that's a public service message.
It is.
Iggy, do you have a particular brand that you want to endorse? What, do you have a particular preference for your safe practices?
Like my grandma had like a bowl of Werther's. Like right when you walk in, when in the bedroom when they're like your little
grandmother's bedroom.
It would have been great. I would have been far more likely to spend intimate time with your grandmother had it been Werther's, because I think that's just.
Would you have the licorice candy?
That's it. I'd be like, do you have any? I want one of those little ones that look like strawberries. Remember those? They were hard candy.
Oh, yeah.
They had a little softness in the middle, but the wrapper looked like a strawberry.
They still sell them.
I like those. I like the hard butterscotch. That's a grandma vibe right there. Butterscotch. Werther's is, I'm telling you, Werther's or those Kraft caramels. Remember those?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man.
Ed, before we wrap up the segment, the listeners, there's a request for you to ask Iggy about Chase Richards and his time with him. Iggy, would you like to tell Ed about Chase Richards, just to give some background?
Nothing happened. He was a gay piano player that we all loved. He was great. He played at the Breckenridge when I worked there, and he also played a couple of bars that I was dating the bar manager, so me and her and the cocktail waitress would all go out and see Chase after we got off work, and just went over to his house for a party one night and did a little coke, and everybody left, and I was in the hot tub with him, but nothing happened.
But
wait a second. What do you mean nothing happened? You just listed 5 things that happened. You did coke. You partied the whole night. Those are things happening. You mean sexually?
It's like that's what they want to know. Yeah, but how can you be in a hot tub with a gay guy and not have sex? Very easily. He was a nice guy. We had fun, and I think he wanted to do something.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you count as sex? When you gave him hand, did that count?
No.
Flip that off.
I never touched him. We may have hugged when I left, but that's
okay.
What
are you wearing?
When you hugged, were you both fully aroused?
No.
Clip that off.
Did he ever once say, Iggy, if you hopped in here, we'd have a really fun time, or even hint at that?
No, I think if I would have said let's go to bed, it would have happened.
Okay,
that's one of the guys that I could have had if I wanted him.
Look at that! Just
were
snap
both
your
of his
finger
hands
and
visible while you were in the hot tub?
Yeah.
Or was one of them not?
Yeah, I'm sure we were smoking a cigarette at some point.
Oh my! Is that a euphemism?
Flesh.
He was just a very entertaining piano player.
What is he doing now? Is he alive?
I don't know. I've tried to find
him
on. I've tried to find him on Facebook and other places. I can't find him anywhere. So
have you checked the bathhouses?
Oh
no,
I don't know. Do they still exist? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I don't want to be negative. I'm sure he's still gay.
314-881 TMA5. Don't do it, Iggy. That's how they catch serial killers. 23andMe.
That's actually true.
Is that true?
It is. You didn't hear that story? That's how they got the Golden State killer.
Is that right?
They
23andMe.
It was the competing service, Ancestry. Yeah. So there had been a database of all of that, and they were able to go back, and they had DNA of the killer. They ran his DNA against the database of these known databases, and they wound up finding some relatives. They researched the relatives' family lineage to try to see what men would be alive now that would have been like in their 70s. So they narrowed it down to like 2 potential people. And they followed these 2 people without these people knowing about it because, it's been years since the Golden State killer killed anybody. And they waited for discarded like soda cans so they could pull the DNA off of these. They took a soda can out of a trash can, matched it up, and it matched up with the killer, and they got him arrested. Yeah, that was the one that Patton Oswalt's wife.
Yeah.
She had done all that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she passed away before they caught him, but that's how they caught him.
That's
so,
right.
Iggy, I guess we should, for your own sake, if you've committed any capital crimes, do not submit to the 23andMe. And I don't.
We're safe. I haven't killed anybody, so we're good.
Nice. There you go, Doug.
Okay.
No pretties.
I'm going to go ahead and expand that list of crimes beyond murder and say if you've done anything that you think might be floating out there in what they would call a cold case that I'm going to go ahead and advise you as the title sponsor and an attorney, but primarily as the title sponsor, not to get the DNA testing. But if you think you're in the clear criminally, and we're only talking about 400 plus cases of child support, I would go ahead and I'd still have the test.
A lot of people are falsely in prison for something they didn't do, so.
That's true. That's true. But usually that's where the DNA comes in handy. That's when you want that exonerating DNA. That's the good part there.
So if you know you're good, then we can go ahead and proceed. And I don't know, raise what, $500, and you get what, 271?
You get half. It doesn't take that long to get the results, and all you have to do is
keep coming.
I think it's mostly a spit-based test. So I think we don't have to poke them with anything.
No, it's no poking.
I mean, we can choose to for our own amusement, but I think the test only requires spit.
What other sorts of crimes might he be concerned about?
Well, I mean, not to make light of any of them, but, the biggies. Anything involving, young children.
Oh, gosh.
Anything involving an unwanted advance. Things
What about this thing with his aunt?
Well, I don't. There was nothing criminal there. I mean, I examined that situation. I reflected on it several times after.
Back to the office
and I went back. It was then later that night. I went back again in my mind. Only it was me in the fantasy. I don't know what happened this time. It wasn't you weren't there at all. It was me and it was your aunt. And So, but anyway, that being the case, no, there was nothing criminal there.
Nothing to hide.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Doug, we're in the clear.
Okay. Sounds like it's a go.
We start by GoFundMe. Is that what we would do on this?
It is, an informal GoFundMe. But it sounds like we're there.
Yeah. Well, the people were texting it immediately to commit.
Well, keep texting in because I could use some more money out of this.
Doug, there you go.
I'm the one that's putting everything on the line. Here.
I'm just telling you. Do you have any idea? You can get a month's worth of broadcasting just going through the list of people that are going to be DNA matches for this guy. I just feel like he's gonna be we're gonna find out he's the center of the universe.
It's going to be a big month.
There will be no matches.
All right, well, there it is.
They'll definitely, let me say this, they will definitely be matches. They may not necessarily suggest that you're the father, but you're going to find cousins, half-siblings, nieces, nephews. If you were adopted, you may find out biological relatives that you didn't know you had. I mean,
good. Those are things I would like to find out.
Well, I'm telling you. And then we've got so much programming because we're going to bring every one of those.
We're going to have them all in?
Every single one in. And we're going to find out, where the similarities lie.
Iggy, we'll create a Venmo for you, and that's how we will get this transaction going. All right? I think that's the best way to do it.
All right.
Sounds enthusiastic.
I think Jackson can probably order the kit.
There you go. Jackson, you'll handle the ordering of the kit?
On it.
He's on it right there.
Oh, look at that.
There's things are happening here on the program. We're about to find out. And always wonderful to have you in. The listeners love your appearances on this program.
Well, I appreciate that. It is a lot of fun. And next time, if you want, we can talk baseball.
Oh, it's just, we're right in the
middle. We're in the middle of an ice cold winter, and I can't sit on this information about it.
Yeah, we'd like to have breaking news here. But next time you're in, we might have the results from this.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be the best?
Yeah, we could do the reveal with you.
Oh my God! Can you promise that you will, if we get results, that you will wait till I'm on?
Of course, absolutely.
We'll make it a very special episode.
A very special edition.
How long does it take
after.
to get this stuff done?
Pretty quickly.
Like a couple weeks?
Well, you get the kit within a couple days. Assuming you do the spit and get it back quickly, within a couple of weeks you'll get your results. And what's nice too is you will find out a lot of health information, things that you have to be on the lookout for based on your DNA profile. You're also going to get a breakdown very specifically of where your ancestors come from, like broken out
Ancestry.com.
by percentage. Yeah, it gives you all of that.
Yeah, okay.
So a lot of stuff. It'll even tell you if your pee will smell from eating asparagus.
No.
That's a big theme on this show.
You
so
probably already know the answer to that yourself. But no, you probably didn't know. But that is an actual DNA thing. You either have that or you don't.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I met more people that didn't have that. It seems like everybody next to me has that.
And it's always wonderful, and we're going to have a very special edition of The Morning After presented by Brown and Crouppen here in a couple of weeks with Iggy's results. God bless.
23 in May.
23 in May. It's going on.
Well, thanks, Ed.
There he is, Ed Herman of Brown and Crouppen. We wrap up the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour at 8:41. This is the morning after.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Rosalitas know that a fun happy hour and scenic patio go together like fresh guac and chips. So take advantage of their covered patio this fall and winter at their De Pere location and enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Their sparkling margarita is made with Chambord raspberry liqueur and topped with a bottle of rosé Prosecco. They also have a variety of delicious margarita flavors, including mango, pomegranate, and blood orange, all made with top-shelf tequila and Cointreau. With phenomenal service, great margaritas, and a breathtaking atmosphere, there's always a reason to come to Rosalitas.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value. We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobiggs.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Yeah, that Plowboy's an interesting dude, but he loves animals, and he wants to help adoptable dogs find homes. With TMA listeners, catch Plowsy live on the TMA socials each week, highlighting a dog up for adoption from Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs and St. Charles County Pet Adoption Center. Plowsy's Pup of the Week, brought to you by Chow Chow on the Hill. Everything you need to keep your pet's tail wagging. Find out more at TMASTL.com.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have two questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lutman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflutman.com, bringing people and properties together.
Chow Chow on the Hill is your one-stop shop for all your pet supplies. As soon as you walk through their doors, you and your pet are considered family and treated with superior service and personalized attention. Jessica is the owner and is a certified pet nutritionist and is passionate about educating her clients on the product that will keep your pets happy and healthy. My favorite part about Chow Chow is its connection with All Paws Safe Haven, an organization that helps shelter animals find forever homes. To learn more about Chow Chow, visit CIAOCHOWSTL.com or stop by and tell them Plowsy sent you.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here right now with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. I made the switch to start working with you, James. It couldn't have been easier to make that switch to start saving money.
Well, I appreciate that, Tim, and we appreciate your business. This is the time to save money. My goodness, we're all feeling it at the grocery store, at the gas pump, etc. So if you've noticed that your insurance rate has gone up, I want to stress how easy it is to get a proposal from us by going online at carltoninsurance.net.
Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency online at carltoninsurance.net.
The St. Louis Golf Expo is the can't-miss event of the year, giving golfers their first chance to see and swing clubs, which will be the talk of the golf world in 2024. Want to go for free? Go to the TMA app or TMASTL.com. Enter keyword golf, and you could win tickets to the St. Louis Golf Expo. Welcomed by SSM Health, February 2nd through the 4th at St. Charles Convention Center. Take advantage of the lowest prices of the year on brand-name clubs and equipment from the industry's leading manufacturers. Test out new golf clubs on an indoor driving range, lined with expert reps from the top manufacturers in the game, complete with skills contest and unbelievable prizes. Enjoy free lessons from top pros, a fully stocked 19th hole lounge, plus special areas for the kids, golf, fitness, and other exciting activities. Enter now on the TMA app and find out more at TMASTL.com.
And as moist as a freshly baked Betty Crocker cake?
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
KPN-TFM, HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Bill. Welcome back. It's the Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen, Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Plowhawk, Ken Strode in, and
he's out.
Jackson Burkett is in.
It's almost as if he didn't care that there was a live show going on at the moment.
Jackson, you there?
It's up. Jackson!
Yeah,
there he is.
here.
Okay. Jeez, we thought you'd left.
I texted Bill DeWitt III on the news we were discussing in our Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. This news in the New York Post this morning. New York Post first one with this story on Amazon to save bankrupt Diamond Sports. This story just coming out around 5 a.m. this morning. You can read it in the New York Post, and I'm sure other outlets have now picked up on it. Amazon to save bankrupt Diamond Sports with a $100 million deal to stream 5 MLB teams. My question to him was, I wanted to make sure I was communicating correctly with the audience on the TV topic. How does this development impact the Cardinals? He just got back to me and said, still trying to sort this one out. Just learned about it yesterday. Definitely a curveball for the industry, but we always knew something could happen in bankruptcy. It probably means status quo for our rights fee payment in the short term, and then perhaps a streaming partnership with Amazon, but that's just speculation at this point. So that is directly from Bill DeWitt III texting me during the commercial break, and this is a story to continue to monitor, because if somehow this could continue to exist, as in that payment, then that stabilizes things for the Cardinals, and then the Cardinals don't have to get into the television business.
It does seem like that this is where it's all going to be, whether it's not in 2024, but sooner or later, just a couple years down the road, it's all going to be streaming.
Yes.
And I suppose the best thing about that is you don't have to come up with an entire network. You don't need 24 hours of programming and all those people to make that happen.
And all the expenses.
Yeah, you just sit dormant until your game comes on, and there it is, and take the money for that.
So I'd be curious, and I will continue to follow up with him on this, if that is something that they will be happy about. But if the Cardinals do not want to do an SNY or a Yes or a Marquee like the Cubs, then this keeps them out of the television business, if this were to actually go down. So that is the story in the New York Post, and Bill DeWitt texting that he is still trying to sort it out. Just learned about it yesterday, but definitely a curveball for the industry, but we always knew anything could happen in bankruptcy. Also, another huge development in the 7 o'clock hour that just concluded 8 minutes ago, and that is Ed Herman of Brown and Crouppen having Iggy do a 23andMe DNA test. Dotem texted Doug that he has a long dormant TMA STL Venmo group account that we can have people pay, and he can transfer. Excuse me, I got emotional. Transfer it wherever. So that account, if that works, and here it is, Doug. It's Cute Boys Inc.
Okay, sure.
It looks like Cletus. I don't recognize the gentleman in the middle. He's a cute bearded boy, and then Iggy on the other side.
Oh.
And it's at TMA STL. And that is how you can. You said you were going to put money in for this. Iggy, what would you like to say?
Yeah, to send it to Dotem, and then someone just give me cash.
What are we looking? What are we looking for here? So at $230 for the.
That's correct.
So what total are you looking? What take-home cash, Iggy, are you looking to get for doing this full?
Since it's all going to be me, I'm the one that's putting everything out there.
Mm-hmm.
500 I need.
I think
so. 500 on top of 229. 729 is our target.
And I think that's reasonable for Iggy. This is getting his life out there, potentially revealing some kids who are now 40.
Yeah, they would be, I guess, wouldn't they?
In that range.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can Venmo TMA STL. And once we get to 729, Iggy will do the 23andMe. Is that correct? Are these terms agreed upon?
Yeah, just get it to 1,000, then we'll do it.
It just went up, Doug. It just went up.
Man, that's going to be a little bit tougher now.
You having second thoughts about this whole thing?
Kind of.
So 771.
I don't want to know if I have kids that have been out there for 40 years and I find out. I mean, I would think if a woman got pregnant, she'd tell me she's pregnant. Nobody's hiding kids from me. I'm going to have this kid. I'm not telling him. You think they want the father to know to help pay for the kid.
You would think.
Okay,
So you would think I have kids, but
Jackson, can you put this on our social media accounts?
The Venmo?
TMA STL. Warsonwood's Wacko just wants to know how much to get it wrapped up. He's not interested in the $5 donation.
It's 771 for Iggy.
1,500 will do it.
Oh, it keeps going up every time you
I'll
open your
stop
mouth.
Although now it's at 1,500.
I'll stop it at that. $1,500.
I'll stop it at that.
Gosh.
No
Good
more.
faith negotiations.
I'm not going to go up anymore. 1,500. Get it to 1,500. I'll spit into a whatever.
You're worried about some crime in the past.
But Iggy, what happens if one of your sons or daughters is like a billionaire?
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, what happens if they're poor and they're trying to get money out of me?
Pretty good odds
Well,
of
then
that.
then it's pretty hard for that person and you to.
I've had sex with a lot of poor women.
Clip that off.
I love the poorly educated.
I've had sex with a lot of poor women. Oh man, that is.
Girl in Festus will come forward with 9 kids.
Oh,
she got pregnant every time I didn't date her that long.
Well, yeah, it would be kind of frightening, I suppose.
And it's certainly putting yourself out there on Front Street.
Well, I don't suppose we have to broadcast.
And now the
all of
listeners are saying they will
results.
not donate because they're mad about the price going up.
I love the poorly educated.
Oh, this is effing stupid. That's in the 314.
Good. That's fine.
Mr. Lick says, I will not Venmo Iggy until he makes up his damn mind on his price. That's
I locked it at $1,500.
Doug, $1,500.
Balance is at 146 is what Dotem
Yeah,
just
Dotem
said.
just sent in the balance at $146.
All right. It's getting it. Now we're cooking, Doug. Now it's
1,354 short.
Yep, here we go. Things are happening.
Okay.
grassroots movement here.
Huh. Would be interesting to know.
I'll do anything for the show, plus $500. No, $1,000. $1,500 will wrap it up. Nope, I'm out. That's from the Shooter McGavin.
Okay.
So what's the number I'm tweeting out?
1,500.
1,500? Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get there.
Jackson's
that's a shame.
He's
Seems like
out.
a lot.
Jackson's out.
If you could have capped it at like 999, so we don't get over that 1,000
I'm
threshold.
capping it at 1,500.
I thought the 1,000 was going to be doable-ish. The 1,500, that's going to be a battle.
Yeah, if you want to know so much about my life, throw money in. Why
Warsonwood's Wacko wants to know who am I Venmoing. It's at TMA STL. And Jackson, you were tweeting this out.
He can't possibly.
What about the Insty? What about the Insty?
I'll put it on our story.
There you go.
If Wacko seriously Venmos 1,500.
I know, it's Cletus, a bearded guy, and Iggy on the other side of the bearded guy.
Who's the bearded guy?
I don't know. Let me see. I got a couple of Dotem's text inbox. See if you recognize this.
I never understood how these ancestry
Who's that guy?
websites with their DNA can tell you where your relatives lived.
Because I played golf with him at some point.
Yeah. Had your hands on him.
That's not Mikey from Normandy, is it?
No.
How would DNA know whether your parents lived in England or Scotland or Ireland or Wales?
Yeah, I
Germany?
don't know.
People
the
move
whole
around.
DNA thing. I know it's come a long way since Barry Scheck, but it's still not 100%. And people can use that to say, "Look, it's almost a match. You're my dad. Give me money. Hey, it's almost a match. You hit me one time at a party. Assault."
Wait, what was the budget for this? That's from Crestwood Coyote.
8,000.
Oh, gosh, it just climbed 6,500.
Man, that's a huge jump.
Then I can retire.
You can't retire on $8,000.
No, Doug, if he invests correctly. Doug, you can't poo-poo this.
Mark
You
Hanna's
invest-
good. I don't know that he's that good.
Guys, how much is Rockio taking off the top? That's from Alan Dadeville. Dougie's going to wet his beak again.
I tell you, this Cameo thing, I did one the other day for somebody. I won't give a name on it. It was for 3 people. And it was another one of those 1333 things. I don't know why it's
What's
that.
1333?
Normally I get like 1875 for every one I do.
Oh.
And the last one has been 1333.
Because Rockio's beak's wet.
So I just said, I started the Cameo again by saying, I don't accept Groupons. How are you guys getting 1333 out of this? You guys better tip. And I was kidding. They gave me a $50 tip.
I
and Cameo took 30% of the tip.
I noticed the bearded gentleman. His name is Dylan, and he is a lovely, lovely human being.
Was that Dylan from Colorado?
Yeah.
Dylan from Colorado.
He's originally from St. Louis, though. And apparently Dotem said his dad and Cletus grew up together, which
Oh, is
I
that
did
right?
not know.
Oh. I think I've met him twice.
Oh, Dylan's like
Yeah, I
the
know
cutest
Dylan.
little button.
Yeah, he usually comes in with some nice stuff for you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always very accommodating.
Hey, Tim, I will throw in a cowboy steak from Olive and Oak and also a handy from my wife for Tim. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Grove.
Tim makes out like a bandit on my DNA.
Strode thinking he can retire for $8,000 is a true testament to his severely poisoned brain. This is sad. It's all just sad. That's from a kid on the bike out in the parking lot. His name's Little Tommy Tribbins. He's all bundled up, though, Doug, today.
It wouldn't take much for me to retire.
What? But 8,000?
You got to be able to pay monthly expenses. That's the only thing.
You got to have it.
Do you have an idea what your monthly expenses are?
Yeah.
Okay.
More than I make.
I would think you'd need at least $500,000 to retire comfortably at all. At least $500,000.
Yeah, it's scary.
That'd be on the low end. Good evening. Thanks, Van. I'm television's own Doug Chandler Hill.
Doug Chandler Hill, so good.
Hold on a second. Are we over it? Or we're at 421 now? And the company's name has been changed from Cute Boys, Inc. to Iggy's DNA. A lot of people were concerned that there were Venmo public transactions showing that they were sending money to Cute Boys, Inc.
But Iggy DNA doesn't even sound any better.
Warsonwood's Wacko put in $250.
Gosh.
How about that? A sixth of it from one man.
That's my dude right there.
You
That's my boy.
think Mr. Warsonwood's Wacko?
He says he wants a copy of the actual report, though. He doesn't want to hear
So he set terms as he has counsel?
No, nobody's getting a copy of this.
Oh, I don't know. Don't waste that $250. That's in there.
It's a nice bit.
Sketch?
I think this is a bit.
So are we going to have video footage of him, like, handing his DNA to somebody or mailing
It
it
sounds
to
like he
some-
just spits into a cup
No.
or something.
We got to have
Petri
video
dish.
of that, and
You
got to
probably-
have video of him putting it in the mail slot.
Right. Well, that should be easy to do.
God, this is going to be good.
Doug, it's all happening.
Yeah.
New text inbox sponsor is Jeff Lottman of Compass Realty. The website, jefflottman.com, JEFFLOTTMANN.com. If you were looking to buy a home or sell a home, support the sponsors. Jeff Lottman of Compass Realty, sponsor of the text inbox. EDF, now the sponsor of Doug's Hot Take Mitts.
Yeah, got them
Right there.
Yeah, I hear a scalding take. Those
wanna
mitts go right on my mittens.
That's exactly right. Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? It's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So, please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at the edfgroup.com. Let's see. I need Jackson to tell me about Circa, if you would.
Be more than happy to, Tim, because the world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is now in Illinois. That's right. The Circa Sports app is available in the great state of Illinois. If you live here in St. Louis, you make the short drive across the river to Illinois. Or if you already live in Illinois, sign up for the Circa Sports app because it's sports betting the way it should be with big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service around. We're coming down the stretch here, the NFL season, with the divisional playoffs coming up here this weekend. You can bet on that. You can bet on NHL during the week, college basketball, NBA, all available over on the Circa Sports app, which is now available in Illinois. So visit circasports.com for more details and get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
There you go. If you're in the market for jewelry, Valentine's Day, less than a month away, how about Glenn Betts Jewelers on Manchester? Doug, you took quantum physics with Craig Betts.
I did. Second or third grade. I don't remember which.
And you guys were doing
advanced.
that in second grade. Wow.
We were what's called star children. I like that. Where they think we might have some alien DNA in us because we're so far advanced.
Did you do 23andMe to make sure you didn't have any?
Yeah, might do that someday.
Now Craig and his son David are operating as a third and fourth generation of Glenn Betts Jewelers in Des Peres on Manchester, about a mile east of 270 on Manchester, right there in Des Peres, on the south side of Manchester, and there's plenty of parking right behind the building. Check it out. They get to know your likes, your lifestyle, and who and what you love. The 3 L's. They're GlennBettsJewelers.com, GLENNBETZ, Jewelers.com. In the jewelry business, there is good, then there is better, and then there is Betts. Why don't you come up with a jingle for
I
this?
have good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good is better and your better is Betts.
Think about that. Glenn Betts Jewelers. Design Air sponsored our email today, coming your way at 9:45 the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Send yours in. What a leaderboard we have. Jimmy Stronglegs with a nice win yesterday. Brian Hench and Buck Swope both tied with 2 wins apiece. Kevin Miller, the JV golf coach. Maury and Little Jack, the calcified ear. And Kevin Miller joined Jimmy Stronglegs on a star-studded leaderboard. Fun to see this kind of competition. It is the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling, sponsor of our email of the day. Go to DesignAirService.com. If you run into any furnace issues during this incredibly cold weather in the St. Louis metropolitan area, Design Air, the official HVAC provider of TMA. Doug's a client. I'm a client. Iggy's a client. Why don't you become a client as well? Also, the official HVAC provider of the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Jackson and I did QFTA yesterday. We will do it again today. You can watch on YouTube, youtube.com/TMASTL, or subscribe to the podcast, the Tim McKernan Show podcast. All right. I understand Jeremy Rutherford and Mark Hanna are going to be in studio. Jackson, what is the situation?
Yeah, so JR offered to come in
How
studio
about that,
today.
in studio?
Yeah, because he's doing the Last Minute Blues podcast with Great Danny Fandango afterwards, and he's like, I'll be at the station at 9 o'clock. You want to do it in studio? I said, please. And so, of course, Mark Hanna will be here, as he is every week. And so we get both of those gentlemen in studio here in just a moment.
Nice.
Mark is arriving, I believe, as we speak. So once Mark gets here, I'll bring both those gentlemen in.
Well, we got this fun with audio. Last night in the Missouri basketball game, Doug, first off, the Tigers lost again.
Oh, damn.
They got crunched.
They up by 20 in the second half, right?
They made it close a little bit at a time. But Nate Oates, the head coach of Roll Tide, Aiden shoved the Tigers. And
why did he shove him?
Jackson?
I didn't see him. Why did he shove him?
Oh, I saw it, baby.
Why did he shove him?
I don't know. That's I think we've all seen the kind of character Nate Oates has displayed.
Oh, wow.
The last couple of years.
Character.
Mike Kelly got upset.
Huh?
Mike Kelly got upset.
Not sure, but I know that Dennis Gates wasn't pleased with the behavior.
Did he come onto the court to do it, or was the guy over there by the sidelines?
You didn't see it?
I didn't see it at all.
Scuffle in front of the bench. No players put their hands on each other, but Nate Oates decided it's a good time to put my hands on the opposing player.
Oh, gosh. He's got to get suspended for that, then, wouldn't he?
No technical foul was called, despite 2 refs staring at the...
Uh-oh, sounds like Jackson's not happy with the
Dennis Gates
Zebras in Tuscaloosa.
Well, but the SEC could come down on him, couldn't he?
Yeah.
And should.
We have sound from Dennis Gates and Nate Oates.
Well, Nate apologized after the game. I've known Nate since he was a high school coach in Detroit. But I just posed the question, if that was players in a huddle with a hand on an opponent, what would take place? It would be an automatic technical foul, right? I thought I saw 2 referees in the huddle. It wasn't a technical foul. But that's the question I would pose. If it was players making hand contact, what would take place? Again, I'm proud of Aiden Shaw and his ability to restrain himself and his teammates' ability to restrain themselves. But again, Nate apologized after the game. So,
Doug, that was the edit point.
Yeah, who edited that? And why is it so rough at the ending all the time? Can we have a little bit of touch?
My bad.
A little bit of finesse?
Why don't you go back and do it?
Maybe I will.
Yeah, Doug, ass.
Who would be left to complain about it if I were to go back and actually do the
That is
editing?
true.
Well, there's certainly no place for that. I'm trying to watch it now, but it's not calling it up on my phone very quickly. I would think that's a suspension of a game or two.
To me, it looked like he was trying to break up players for some reason, because no players are going after one another, talking and talking. You can do that on the court. It's weird that he felt the need to try to break something up that didn't exist. It wasn't, Doug, as if he went up there and then speared him or gave him a full two-handed shove, but he certainly shoved him out of the
clotheslined
way.
him?
No, not quite.
Oh.
It's like a mini stiff arm to try to get him away from the players.
It's just a principle thing. You don't put your hands
I know. I agree. No, I'm with you. I think it should be suspension worthy, and I think you should have got a T. I just didn't want Doug to think it was like a full out brawl.
Oh.
No, shove might be too strong of a word.
Oh, yeah.
JR and Mark Hanna are here.
Yeah, I see it. That was not a shove.
All right, Jeremy Rutherford and Mark Hanna are here. JR talking it over here this morning, brought to you by Mark Hanna. He's online at evergreenstl.com. And here they come.
Well, here they are now.
Well,
there's Hagee and Rutherford.
Iggy putting on the coat.
Jeremy Rutherford, have you ever been in such a glamorous studio? This is like 10 times the size of 101's.
Can you get up there by yourself?
See you for the emails.
Iggy's out. He's raising $1,500 to do 23andMe DNA test.
He's got 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah,
there is no upside.
You would advise against this?
I'm just saying, don't do anything for which there is no upside. There is no upside.
But he could take that 1,500, take it to you, and turn it into a milli real quick.
That's the difference in a financial advisor and a personal injury attorney. One saying, do it. The other, no, don't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Rutherford's first ever appearance in these studios. Am I correct?
Yeah, it is. So is this chair Iggy's?
It is.
It is
It's
indeed.
ready for Iggy's weight, and then I sit down on it and just snap.
Well,
welcome in.
Hold up.
I guess you're happy to take two-parters in person.
In person, I'm happy to meet Mark Hanna for the first time.
Oh, you guys have never
In
met?
person.
Really?
Yeah, in
No,
the hallway here.
How about that?
We're outside bonding over the joys of being part of this lovely presentation.
I think it was how screwy the show is. But,
Whoa,
yeah.
Doug.
Your words, not mine.
It hadn't ruined your careers yet, has it?
Day's not over yet.
Oh,
That's exactly right. JR, what's the good word? What are you doing in building? You're going on the Last Minute Blues podcast? Is that the deal?
Yeah, we got you guys here, which is this is awesome. Great to be in here. What's up?
Oh, hey, so I have this guy. It's weird. I have the computer screen, so I couldn't really tell where your eyesight was. What up, JR?
What's up? And then slide down the hallway to Last Minute Blues podcast.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. We're the bullpen for Riv. Whenever Riv can't do it, Ferrari and I hop in there.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice. We will take your two-part questions for Jeremy Rutherford. 314-881-TMA5. The Jeff Lotman text inbox, 314-881-TMA5. Let's see. Dotem is sending in an update. We're now up to $462 for Iggy's 23andMe. Mark, he's looking for $1,500.
What's the price that you have to pay for that $1,500? I understand that Iggy is a unique soul who his barometer, shall we say, about embarrassment is pretty low. But there's not a whole lot of good that can come from this decision.
he thinks if he can get to a savings of $8,000, he can retire.
I heard him say that.
How do you feel about that,
that
as
about
a
enough?
financial advisor? Do you tell people get to 8,000 and then
shut it down?
My professional advice is each person has their own needs, but let's be mindful of what we're not prepared for, what we can't foresee. And it's very possible you could go through $8,000 real darn quick.
Okay.
What if that Section 8 housing raises its rent by 10%?
But what if he's being real about his life expectancy?
He does smoke a lot of drugs.
Yeah. Well, even
We're
that's probably
internalizing it now on air.
But then again, with 23andMe, he might have some kids or some exes coming back after him.
That's what one of the things Ed Herman was counseling him on. with the 23andMe venture. It slowed down. He was going to do it for another $500, and then it went up to $1,000, and then it went to $1,500, and then the audience got pissed off and stopped donating. This thing is now on hold.
Reading between the lines, I was sensing a man who suddenly had regretted his decision and was backpedaling.
That'd be a tough knock at the door at the Section 8 housing. Hey, you're my dad.
Tougher for the guy knocking probably than for Iggy.
I've waited my whole life and I found this.
JR, what are your thoughts on the state of things as the Blues begin a home-at-home against the Capitals?
Yeah, they've gone through a stretch here, guys, where they've played some pretty good hockey, right? But they've come up short here the past couple. Wow, what about that tripping call, that non-tripping call?
God almighty. Wow. Yeah. For real.
Yeah, sitting at Robert Thomas's locker a couple days ago, he said, yeah, you know what, no big deal. And I actually did I'm doing well, I guess it's not so anonymous if you say what you're doing here, but an anonymous player poll where you ask him best referee, worst referee. And I said, was that the worst referee? He goes, no, actually, he's pretty good. So, the guy has a decent reputation, but missed a call there, right?
I mean, that's so brutal. Yeah. That's so brutal. I'm just picturing if I had the Blues money line and that would have cost me, because at that moment the Blues are on the power play and God bless America, you like your chances.
I figured you'd be looking at the betting line.
Absolutely.
That one there, but
I saw it right away and I go, oh my God, what happened? Did I miss something? And then on top of it, it was Thomas with the puck. It wasn't away from the play.
And it was both legs, not just one leg. He got them both. But so if they beat Boston, do we have any different vibe with the Blues right now in terms of how they're playing? Maybe a little bit.
I see what you're saying. I see the direction you're going
lately. But it just you saw that game the other night. There's just too many mistakes, too many flaws. The margin for error is real small, and I think we're going to see that the rest of the year.
I still say they're doing exactly what you would expect a team to be doing in terms of a rebuild, that you have these good cycles and you have these more challenging, even shorter parts of the game, that things are not coming together. And so it's really easy to look at the wins and the losses and break it down into that. But in any sort of rebuild, you have to gauge it based on what are the players doing, what are the trends. One of the things that I was thinking about when, Robert Thomas is having a spectacular season. It's a career transitional season. But then he's playing against his buddy, Matthew Tkachuk, who comes right over the top and does what he did with a hat trick. What I'm wondering about is, what does Robert Thomas do now, looking at that and saying, okay, is this the time that pressure makes diamonds? Is this the time that I can elevate my game because that's what's possible in one of these pressure situations? We've seen where Kyrou, where he was being booed, it seems like he's really risen to the occasion and he's trying to turn his game around. He's not there yet, but it's on an uptrend. So I would say this is exactly what you would expect from a team like this.
Yeah, and Tim, spoiler alert, we're doing a Blues survey, a poll for the fans over at The Athletic right now. And I'll tell you one of the questions and answers here is that, are the Blues doing better, worse, or about the same where you thought they'd do this season? And peeking at the results yesterday, still got a couple days left.
I'm curious what the results I saw that.
That was the question and the response right now. And we're at about, I want to say 1,300 votes. We still got a few more days left in the voting, but I peeked at it yesterday, and it was 72% of people said about the same.
Yeah. I'd probably be about the same or better. That's where I would be, in that range. Yeah. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I would have thought, when I designed the question, I originally had better or worse than you thought, but you got those people out there, hey, this is about the same. I knew this is who they'd be. You didn't give us a choice to say about the same, so we threw that one in there.
Oh, I see.
So now everybody's smart. Yeah, everybody saw it coming. On your question of officials, who would rate, do you think, is the best official in the league?
Well, the guy that keeps getting a lot of votes is Wes McCauley. I think it's a little bit because he's animated. He throws a little exclamation into everything. Although I did have a couple players say, anybody but Wes. He calls a lot of penalties on me. And I don't know if you heard my Russian accent there. You could probably tell who might have said.
89?
Yeah. Well,
was that 89?
It's not so anonymous anymore.
Yeah, I know. This is no longer off the record. Questions are coming in here. Two-parters. Jeff Lotman, Compass Realty text inbox. JR, is the power play back, or is this just a hot streak? And since you are on YouTube just for today, would you and Mark take off your shirts and rub nipples?
Oh!
That's from Mr. Siders. It's just listeners making requests. I mean, it's two-parters, yeah.
I do like the athletic sweatshirt. That's
Oh,
pretty
thanks.
solid.
Thanks,
Sharp look.
thanks.
It's a sharp look.
Yeah.
Medium?
But it's not going to come off, is it?
It is for sure not going to come off. And hey, I know the clientele that you've had in this room here. I've watched the show, and I would venture to say that I might have the biggest nipples of anybody that's.
Oh,
Yeah, but you ain't got the nipple hair
big
like
sewer
that.
lids?
I doubt it all.
$1,500. We can
I'll
judge
see those
this.
pepperoni nuts for $1,500.
Oh.
Easy.
Yeah, maybe we'll take the $1,500 that was going to Iggy and $1,500 for you, and you can show those off.
Oh yeah, so I don't
Might
think
raise more based on the audience's response to Iggy's increased price.
And be
point.
less creepy somehow. That would be a little bit less.
I want that knock, knock, knock. Can I join you?
I never thought that would come up. Who's got the biggest nipples of all the guests we've had in here? Never
was
saw
great.
it coming.
Can we clip that from Doug? You got sewer lid nipples?
Yeah, that does need to be clipped off. Speaking of the two-parter, the first part, the power play. The power play. Has
That's
been,
right. See, these two-parters, you always lose what the real question was. The power play has been better. You know, I think a couple changes they made. They put Sundquist in the net front in one power play unit, and then Jake Neighbors in the other. And those two guys have 3 goals at the net front the past couple of games. So first time all season the Blues have scored a power play goal in 3 straight games. So is this some hot streak? Shoot, for the Blues, 3 games in a row is it's a bit of a run for that power play. It's looking better.
I think Sundquist would take a slap shot to the face if he thought there was a goal in it for him.
Boy, would he
would
ever,
just
man.
skate through a brick wall.
Yeah, you know, I was in the Blues were in Nashville one time, and Sundquist was in the bar. You know, it was well before they needed to get to bed for the game, but he's walking through, and I don't know if it's a Swedish gal or whatever, but she's a 11 out of 10 scale, right? And the two of them wander through the people, and you know, he's got the summer teeth, he's got the teeth going some direction here, and I was like, what am I doing wrong here? And this is back when I had the smaller nipples, you know, so I didn't know what I was doing wrong.
I know her. I think she grew up in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And went to grade school with one of my kids.
Okay, yeah, she's a dandy.
Yeah, beautiful girl for sure. It's amazing that some professional athletes wind up with beautiful girls.
Amazing.
Stunning.
Now, why does that happen? You want to do an anonymous poll on that.
We'll do that. I know why. I think I know why. First of all, they probably got a lot of money with this guy. But second of all,
nice. He weaved in the sponsor. Look at that guy. Man,
confidential.
I'll never forget when you asked on the air, I think, didn't you ask Steve Klein, how much money do you have in your checking account right now? And he pulled out a receipt, right? Because he went to the bank.
That's certainly possible. I don't remember it. What did he say?
I think he handed you a copy of his receipt because he had made a deposit or whatever.
Yeah,
I remember the number being about $72,000 in the checking account. Is that a lot in the checking account?
Plowsy?
Probably not necessarily.
not for me.
Where
but,
Mark would advise people to keep the money, I would guess. I'm not trying to.
We need a rainy day
you think
fund. You need cash on hand.
Float in your checking account, maybe a month and a half worth of expenses.
There you
Keep
go,
the
Doug.
rest in more of a
$72,000
high-yield money market. Something that gets you a few bucks. Yeah.
There you go.
We don't want to overdraw.
That's why you keep an adequate float in your checking
Right.
account.
Adequate float. I like that.
Doug, you have a villa in Monte Carlo. If you don't have 72 grand in your checking floating around, then you got a problem.
Well, that's true. I'm not quite there yet myself.
I want Iggy's opinion on this, too.
With 72 grand, you probably think that's a little low.
Could be.
Let's see what we got here in these two-parters. JR, Chuck Leffley turned 74 on Saturday. What do you have planned in terms of celebrations or podcast specials? That's from a Nipple eligible.
We're going to do a penalty kill theme party because Chuck Leffley, king of the short-handed goal back in the 70s, had a number of those.
Ron Duguay?
Oh, man.
Ron Duguay's second
Played
reference.
against him, maybe.
You know, you always beat me on these references, the old school guys.
It was a layup from the last segment.
But no, he's the Blues off to a great start. You know, throughout this year with the penalty kill, right? Guys up to 9 shorthanded goals. But you go back to Chuck Leffley and that group, Larry Patey. It was unbelievable.
Jerry Odrowski was good at that, too.
Was he?
Yeah. That's before your time, I guess.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like Rick Mahar
Odrowski.
myself.
Rick Mahar,
He was
yeah.
a smallish man, rather rapid.
Rapid Rick.
Yeah.
Won the Selkie.
He did.
Hey, JR, two-part question. First, how about that hockey, huh? Second, now that Iggy is out of the room, we can talk honestly here. The terms of what information will be released from the 23andMe report need to be defined. Iggy is going to backtrack on releasing anything if the terms aren't written down. If Iggy doesn't agree to the terms, we can redirect the funds to JR to show his half-dollar nipples on YouTube. So the Kansas City Gray Sexual, Doug, the listeners are setting the terms.
I like how a lot of people really step up and send the messages in when Iggy's out. Is that they don't want the rebuttal right there?
No, usually they come in while he's sitting here. I just read about a tenth of them as opposed to all of them, but he is certainly the target of most of them. Unless the Plowhawk's on a Cardinal rant, which he was earlier this morning.
Yeah. Little rant, just a mini one.
Some of the people though love the Plowhawks rants.
Most
the Blues don't get the same kind of ire, although they did experience it, I think, in mid-December with the Berube. That was the first time I had. With regard to the direction that the franchise goes here over the next month, the trade deadline, what do you think they're going to do? Because they're lurking, but I don't think too many people are going, oh yeah, this team's a team that is a cup contender.
Yeah, I looked at it yesterday. They're 11 points out of third and 2 points out of that wild card. So it's still loitering there in that area where you could win a wild card spot. But I think they got to be realistic about it. And Tim, we've talked about it. I've said since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think even if they're close, you can't buy things. You can't go out and say, hey, I'm going to make this team better. We're going to get to the second round. It's just not going to work. So I think that they're going to continue to compete. They're going to continue to try to put the best team out there and try to make the playoffs. But I would see the Blues selling a couple pieces before I'd see anything.
Who would be in the most likely set of circumstances to go?
At the beginning of the year, you would think that Vrana and Kapanen could be options, but Vrana, unless you can trade him from Springfield, I don't think that's going to work out. And Kapanen really hasn't had the season. He shows up, but there's just not a lot of number production there where teams are going to say, we need that guy for the playoffs. So, a couple names to keep an eye on. Brandon Saad, even though he has another year left on his contract. And, I don't want to say that the Blues would think about trading Justin Falk, but I think at some point you're going to have to move somebody defensively to change up that defense. And I think that with the way Matt Kessel's played and the way that they might be turning into a younger group of players, that Falk could be on that list.
I bet Parayko would have a lot of value right now.
Yeah, I think so. But that, man, a year ago, I think Blues fans would have loved you saying that, but he's played really well this year.
Yeah, he's probably the best they got now.
Yeah, and I don't want to, again, spoiler alert, but we got a question in the survey for Blues fans. What do you think about Parayko as your quote-unquote number one defenseman right now? And the majority likes that idea.
Torrey Krug exercised his non-trade, but there's some redundancy. Perunovic is getting some more ice time. I noticed that he and the Castle were out there towards the end of that game against the Bruins with 5 minutes to go. There's a redundancy with Perunovic and Krug. You think that there's any chance of Krug moving on?
Yeah, I think there's
value for him.
I think there's a possibility. He said he wanted to be part of the solution, but if you see that this team is going to be further into a retool, rebuild, whatever you want to call it, and Krug, in the towards the end of his career here, he's got a few more years left. I think that he could want to go somewhere else where he wants to win. And Philly wasn't the place, so everybody talks about invoking that no trade. But, that was specific to Philadelphia. So if you could find another place, that they could move him, that might work. And Perunovic, you're right. And especially if the Blues, if they're not looking to spend to the cap the next couple of years and it's going to be going up, Perunovic is a much cheaper version of Torrey Krug.
JR, Tim, can you ask if there are any implications? The Bally's issue with the Blues, like we hear about with the Cardinals. I know we've talked about that on 101. Probably last time we talked about it was maybe a month or so ago. Anything new on that front and how it impacts the Blues, sir?
Well, yeah, and it looks like it's going to remain solid here, at least for this season,
right.
With the rest of the season. So we'll get games on Bally's the rest. But I agree with what you guys have listened to, what you guys have had to say. It looks like the Cardinals are good for the next season too, right? That's the
correct.
recent report.
And there's a report this morning in the New York Post that Amazon is actually going to put in $100 million on Diamond Sports.
Yeah. So, and I think the business model works, from what I've heard of the experts talking, it's that, they just need to start getting the revenue. Like the model works. It's just that when they made the deal, they were so far in debt that it was hard climbing out of that. So, but could we envision the Blues and Cardinals getting
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do you think, is there been any conversation about that? Bill DeWitt mentioned it this weekend at the winter warm-up about a possibility of the Blues and Cardinals partnering.
Tim, I got to believe that it's something that could work. And I think that as we get into the future here, we all know that streaming is the future. But the Cardinals and Blues have had a great relationship going. It's interesting. I'd go back to, I watched that YouTube video just a couple days ago of DeWitt and Stillman going out to center ice, wearing the opposite jacket of each other. Stillman wearing the Cardinals jacket. Gary Bettman came out and said that's kind of what led to the Winter Classic that year in St. Louis, because they wanted to help the Cardinals and the Blues, and obviously with the Rams leaving. So I do see something in the future, and that's based on not conversations with Tom Stillman or anyone at the Blues right now, but see that as a possibility.
The soccer team get in on that too, or
no?
They got their own.
That's league rights with Apple, so that's not
their own. I pay my
$12.99
to them for to watch their games.
Yeah.
Did I just hear Jackson chanting NBA?
Oh my God!
Oh, would it work in St. Louis?
Well, he just wants to be able to watch the games, but he's not willing to pay for the league pass. What are you doing, Jackson?
We need to get him on another prank, Tim. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, you guys got headphones on. I heard Jackson open his mic because he's about to.
We get Pacers and Grizzlies game here with Bally's. It's lovely.
You do? You watch them?
Really? Those are on Bailey's?
Grizzlies games So, I mean, I guess sometimes it depends on the situation, but usually you can catch a Pacers or a Grizz game. I know when I had League Pass, I couldn't watch Pacers or Grizzlies games because we're blacked out in this area, which was nice.
Gosh, I have to say I haven't seen one of them yet. Either a Pacers or a Grizzly game.
How have you been able to do this show?
Just fake it. Just come up with stupid stuff like talking about it the size of a man's nipples. That's the sort of thing.
Final question, and it comes from the Morrison Woods Wacko JR. Since Roman Polak and Sobotka are now gone, who's hanging the third leg, Doug? That's the listers. The listers, I feel like they were freed up by the nipple talk.
Oh, man. You know what? I got this bad habit that any of my friends could tell you, too. I repeat stories to the same person a couple times, like tell them 2 or 3 times. I just forgot that
there's something about that chair.
Yeah. Oh, Iggy does it, too. I'll never forget. I thought that, hey, when I had a son, I was thinking about naming a son Roman. And so one day there's Roman Polak in the Blues locker room, and I walk up to him and I said, hey, Roman, and you guys know how strong and tough he looked. Like he looked like a Roman gladiator, right? And I said, hey, if I ever have a son, I think I might name him Roman. And he, in his Czech accent, looked at me and said, I know you told me last week.
Didn't seem like he was that amused by it the second time around.
He didn't say, oh, that'd be great. That's awesome.
How about this? Final text. No sports questions because I'm just a girl, but I just wanted to say hi to Mr. Rutherford. That's from the Lipstick Lass.
How about that?
Wow, look at you.
Miss Lipstick Lass. No, we partied a few times, including we sat at the table over at Gabe's.
St. Gabriel Trivia Night. Yeah.
With the Lipstick Lass.
Fun group, yep.
No fooling.
She came to one of our remotes, Salt and Smoke, for TMA Day at the ballpark, and we were surprised to see an attractive female at one of our events. And Iggy took a picture of her.
Imagine that.
Yep. And then me and my wife were encouraging Jackson to go up and talk to her, but it turns out Jackson's read was right. She's a married woman.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great couple. And we just spent a night with him a couple weeks ago. But when somebody said
wow, is that right? Look at you.
Yeah,
something about your neighborhood.
You spent the night with them?
Yeah, Doug, that's what I heard.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I was wondering what that pineapple was outside.
Yeah, to be clear, did not say spend the night. But so when somebody told me, hey, Lipstick Lass is going to be sitting at the table with us, you need to tell Iggy she's going to be there. So I said, hey, Iggy, Lipstick's coming with us to Gabe's. And he goes, cute girl.
It's like your Calvin May impression when Steven Jackson scolded him. JR, we know you have your responsibilities for the Last Minute Blues podcast. Thank you so much for coming into these studios.
Oh, this is great.
Well, thank you, Rutsy.
And the great Mark Hanna, always sponsoring.
Thank you,
Mark. JR, Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, online at evergreenstl.com. We will close out the 8 o'clock hour at 9:27. 9 o'clock hour in the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day coming up. This is the Morning After, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have 2 questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
Chow Chow on the Hill is your one-stop shop for all your pet supplies. As soon as you walk through their doors, you and your pet are considered family and treated with superior service and personalized attention. Jessica is the owner and is a certified pet nutritionist and is passionate about educating her clients on the product that will keep your pets happy and healthy. My favorite part about Chow Chow is its connection with All Paws Safe Haven, an organization that helps shelter animals find forever homes. To learn more about Chow Chow, visit CIAOCHOWSTL.com or stop by and tell them Plowsy sent you.
The St. Louis Golf Expo is the can't-miss event of the year, giving golfers their first chance to see and swing clubs, which will be the talk of the golf world in 2024. Want to go for free? Go to the TMA app or TMASTL.com. Enter keyword golf, and you could win tickets to the St. Louis Golf Expo. Welcomed by SSM Health, February 2nd through the 4th at St. Charles Convention Center. Take advantage of the lowest prices of the year on brand-name clubs and equipment from the industry's leading manufacturers. Test out new golf clubs on an indoor indoor driving range, lined with expert reps from the top manufacturers in the game, complete with skills contest and unbelievable prizes. Enjoy free lessons from top pros, a fully stocked 19th hole lounge, plus special areas for the kids, golf, fitness, and other exciting activities. Enter now on the TMA app and find out more at TMASTL.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Naturals is a local family-owned business that takes pride in offering all-natural dog treats crafted with minimal ingredients and bursting with flavors such as peanut butter, chicken, and pumpkin. Their dental chews are designed to promote thorough teeth and gum cleaning, and the rawhide-free chews are gentle on dogs with sensitive stomachs. Visit naturals.com and enter the code TMA at checkout to enjoy an exclusive 15% discount along with free shipping on orders over $30. Don't miss out on these fantastic savings. Go to GNAWTURALS.com and apply TMA at checkout.
Rosalitas know that a fun happy hour and scenic patio go together like fresh guac and chips. So take advantage of their covered patio this fall and winter at their De Pere location and enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Their sparkling margarita is made with Chambord raspberry liqueur and topped with a bottle of Rosé Prosecco. They also have a variety of delicious margarita flavors, including mango, pomegranate, and blood orange, all made with top-shelf tequila and Cointreau. With phenomenal service, great margaritas, and a breathtaking atmosphere, there's always a reason to come to Rosalitas.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Open your TMA mobile app and enter keyword DOG to win a $50 gift card towards the online store at Naughty-Rolls. It's a locally owned family business offering all-natural, limited-ingredient dog treats, dental chews that deep clean into gums, hideless chews for dogs with sensitive stomachs, and all-natural protein-rich cookies. All available in chicken, peanut butter, and pumpkin flavors. Discounted variety packs available. Free shipping on orders of $30 or more. Find out more at TMASTL.com. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
You gotta be on acid to understand what's going on this show.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2,
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Yeah, this is going to put it in perspective, isn't it?
It really does, because I feel like I needed that, because I didn't think I had things in proper perspective until this very moment.
I feel like this song and just putting us all out to pasture and kind of like the theme song to this.
Yeah. Now I realize life is for the living.
Think about that.
Death is for those who are dirt napping.
Think about that.
And now you can sit down if you're a songwriter Ween, pretty popular. I'm going to sit down and write a song about a dog chewing on his leg on the porch.
Well,
that's why they have so much range.
Yeah.
Hello, it's 9:35. Where the F is the podcast? That's from Oink Oink, the boy pig.
Why won't you upload it, Jackson?
So the first segment went pretty long. And so oftentimes when we post really long podcasts like that, it takes a little bit longer to upload, but it should be up either right now or momentarily. And then the second segment will follow quickly after.
There it is. You've been updated. Then we'll have Balloon Party at 10 o'clock. Let's see, Moon and I have sound stories today.
Yep, he has a Zoomer. You got 11:30.
Yeah, that's correct. Video edition. And then Jackson, how does a QFTA sound?
Sounds great.
All right. Jackson was calling for Nick Sirianni's head yesterday on Balloon Party out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God, he's doing a resume reel. This guy's trying to move to the East Coast.
Marsh gave him a script. And
do you think it was Marsh who gave the script?
That'd be funny.
I'll tell you this. So then I went and researched it after the program. And all of the Philadelphia Sports Talk hosts, Doug, they want him out.
Do they?
So there has been a coach who went to the Super Bowl and then was fired after the next season in the history of the NFL, but it's only happened one time. My question was, has there ever been a coach who coached in the Super Bowl, then went to the playoffs the following year and got fired? And that has never happened. Do you know, because you like guessing games.
Yeah.
The coach who took his team to the Super Bowl and then, after the following season, which for the record was a 4-win season, so it's a lot different than the Eagles situation this year, was fired. It's from the 21st century, because you like hints, and I just gave you one.
Yeah, from the 20... What century did you say it was from?
21st.
21st. Super Bowl coaches. Peterson.
No, I'm sorry.
It's not Mike Holmgren, is it?
No, I'm sorry.
I don't know if that
initials, please.
Century.
B.C.
Bob Chambers?
No, he kept his job.
Billy Chapman?
No.
Billy Chitwood.
Was it Billy Chitwood?
It was not Billy Chitwood.
Okay. Was it
Bill Conklin?
Was it Brad Chipperman?
No, he kept his job too.
Brandon.
Second letter, first name, please. Bill. It is definitely Bill.
Clip it off.
Bill C. Bill Cummings got fired?
No, he's still with the Titans.
Third letter, please. First name.
L.
It is without question Bill.
Bill Cutcliffe?
Bill Cutcliffe. He got the axe.
Brother of David.
For all the good stuff
Duke.
that he did.
I'd still say Bill Conklin.
Bill. Okay, second letter, second name.
A.
Bill Casey.
No.
Bill Casper.
Bill Cameron?
No.
I thought he was still employed. Third letter, please. Second name.
L.
C-A-L.
Bobby
Bill
Caldwell.
Callahan.
Yes.
Bill Callahan.
Yeah.
See, that was easy.
Oh, the Raiders?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, God, I forgot about that name.
I didn't. That's why
Robot.
I got it almost right away.
It was pretty good.
Didn't really need any hints. I remember when Johnny Keane led the Cardinals to the 1964 World Series. He quit right after that.
Yeah,
to take the job with the Yankees,
yeah.
who they had just beaten.
Were the Yankees managed by Yogi Berra? in
Yes, they
64?
were. Yeah. I think that arrangement had been made before they got to the World Series. And they won the World Series.
Well, because the Yankees went on a Sunday charge, and
the Cardinals went on the Sunday charge
the
just
Cardinals
to get
did
in.
too. Yeah.
But that was weird that
Yeah,
you
I
win
think
it.
who was the Cardinal general manager that I think was going to the Yankees?
Was that Bing Devine or Bob Howsam, maybe?
Oh, well before that.
Can I have initials, please?
Well,
Bill Callahan?
No, he was. I can't remember his name. I think he still got a couple kids living in St. Louis, or a couple grandkids living in St. Louis.
Not Branch Rickey.
Branch Rickey. I thought there was some kind of deal.
He wasn't
had.
around in the 60s.
I thought he had some kind of deal with a player that he wanted to go, and then he knew he was leaving to go to the other team. That's why they didn't trade him, and then he got there and then took him. I can't think of who the player was. Anyway, there's a great autobiography out on Branch Rickey. It's fascinating how he built, basically, he came up with the minor league system.
He does have grandchildren still in the area, because one of them was a friend of John Vaughn at the CBC.
Yeah, if you can find the book, it's a great book.
Well, I'm not going to look for the book. It sounds
for
like a
listeners
great
out
book.
there that may want to know about Branch
Okay.
Rickey and those great teams of the Cardinals back in that era, how he basically started the minor league system.
Farm system, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Integrated baseball. Yeah, a true pioneer. Yeah.
I'm letting it breathe.
Well, I just feel bad for Bill Callahan. I don't think he's recovered yet, has he?
No, he went to Nebraska.
And just got that's what really.
Poor Nebraska. They had one team to root for, and they were so good for decades, and now they just got nothing.
Why do you hate Matt Rule?
I don't hate Matt Rule.
Scott Frost was supposed to do it, and they couldn't get around
But
it.
I mean, they love their Nebraska Cornhuskers as much as any fan base loves any team, or they did for a long time.
What was Martz fired after he took him to the Super Bowl? How long after?
5, 6 years.
Was it that long?
I mean, he was. I remember not coaching, covering the Rams and Falcons. And that was the 2004 season, and that was in January of 2005. Falcons, I think, lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship. And then I think he got sick in the 2005 or 2006 season. So he was here a good one. Peterson was close. Peterson played, we looked that up yesterday, Doug Peterson with the Eagles, 18. They were in the Super Bowl, and he was fired in 21. But it's my overall point is it's rare for a coach the year after taking a team to a Super Bowl and then taking a team to the playoffs to get fired. As a matter of fact, it's so rare, it's never happened.
Well,
but they are unhappy in Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're always unhappy in Philadelphia.
Well, they're unhappy at the Horton Watkins studio, too.
The non-wing actually quote tweeted something to my direction of like a fan poll, and like 38% of the voting was like fire Sirianni, which was like a 5-option poll, so it was by far the leader in the clubhouse.
Absolutely, that's Philadelphia -- that's the tone.
Yeah, and I've recognized that beforehand, and the little Orlovsky I am, I attacked.
Are you starting to play a character?
No, all I was basically saying was like I think a conversation needs to be had about it because of the way they fell off.
I had ESPN on in the background, speaking Orlovsky, and I don't believe Jackson is a mini Orlovsky. I think you're better than that. But they have
I would hope so.
They have
Although that's where the money is to just play a character.
They have a segment, and it has a whole intro of Orlovsky saying what he doesn't eat, which is all amazing things. He doesn't eat steak. He doesn't eat all these great snack food items.
Okay.
Chicken he doesn't like. And so they have a segment called Let Orlovsky Cook.
Nice.
And I think,
is that my?
and he just goes off.
No,
No, I don't hear it.
I heard voices there for a moment.
I don't hear it.
When I talk,
I don't hear it.
There, I heard it.
Thank you.
See, I don't hear it.
That was my bad.
Neither do I.
Come on, Jackson.
That was me. My bad, man. Really sorry.
Maybe that's another place Belichick pops up.
If Belichick can get fired for what he did for the Patriots, then nobody's safe.
At least Philadelphia has a lot of pieces in place.
Oh, if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm staying about 1,000,000 miles away from Philadelphia.
Well, it'd be a better job than Atlanta.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to deal with that fan base to turn on you quick. I think you should go to Washington.
What does he carry? Doesn't talk to anybody anyway.
Yeah, why doesn't he just shut it down now? He's
He will-
70-something. He's made $1 jillion.
Look, I
He's won all
agree.
these.
But if you want the coach, go to Washington. New ownership there, get a little bit more leeway, build your team.
You know, and it's easy for me to say, why don't you shut it down? When that's who these people are. That's their identity.
Yeah, Doug-
Sure, they love it. They enjoy it. They have fun with it. They like being in charge. They like having a team of their own.
People were telling you to shut it down after you signed that 10-year, what was it, $280 million contract with KMOV.
Yeah, I see. I'm still on their website doing the 6 and 10 p.m. sports.
Really?
That's amazing, dude. Speaking of website, though, by the way, having another little puppy in here, I wanted to shout it out. Having Bruno, a big 90-pound dog. But we do have Plowsing Pup of the Week every week. We'll be posting that in all our socials. And that brought to you by Chow Chow, of course, Doug. To me, the best dog pet supply place on the planet. It's on the hill right next to Bertarelli Cutlery there in Marconi.
Yeah.
Beautiful people. The husband of the owner is a diehard fan page member as well. So go there for all your pet supply. They, of course, are fantastic people sponsoring Plowsing Pup of the Week. Last week, you loved her. Harley, 9-year-old, gorgeous little girl. Still waiting to get adopted. And that from Open Door Animal Sanctuary. We'll have another big 90-pound Mastiff, Doug, today in the studio at 10:15.
That's
and
a
we'll
lot of
post
dogs.
all that
Is that a
on our
full-grown
socials.
Mastiff, or do they get bigger than that?
They get bigger than that. It looked probably to be like a Mastiff mutt. I would think not full-grown, not full Mastiff. still, nonetheless, I have 2 90-pound dogs, and they're amazing. So I just wanted to post that out there, that we'll be posting that on Instagram, fan page, Twitter, social media. So check that out and get ready.
Could a 90-pound dog be called a pup?
I always
If
call
it's
them
young.
pup, but I think so. It's a 6-year-old, though, so I wouldn't. I would say the age is what defines
an
a pup,
adult.
not the
Yeah.
size.
I'd say so.
Okay.
Good question, though,
I
Iggs.
always thought a puppy meant, 6 to 8 weeks, 10 weeks.
Probably even longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even separate them from their parents until they're, 6 to 8 weeks old, I think.
Dude, a couple of days ago, my dog poops froze like they were pooping.
Oh,
That's how cold it was.
God.
So go to the social. No.
Frozen feces?
It's easier to pick up.
Doug, we got great audio here. Both of us, anytime, we'll talk to kids who are thinking about maybe pursuing medicine or law, we'll say,
just a doggone minute, is what we try to say.
maybe,
You're making a big mistake.
Maybe you ought to look into a journalism degree, or a communications degree.
Make a difference.
Really? Well, here's Todd Bowles talking it over with the Tampa media yesterday. His Buccaneers will be taking on the Lions in Detroit at Ford Field, which is an indoor facility. Take a listen.
Coach, looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to come to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome. I don't. No, nothing planned. We're indoors, and we only have to be outside for 20 seconds getting off the bus going on to the thing, so we'll be okay.
True statement.
We should get back to this.
God bless him. He answered that the best he could.
He really did.
Instead of yelling at the reporter.
You're going to crawl into a hole and just...
That's the last time we sent one of our news people out to do a
Clay
sports
Travis
story.
posted it and just dragged her.
If you don't know what you're
if
you don't know what you're talking about, just be quiet. Just sit there and piggyback off the other questions.
And can we not make it a big deal if she did mess up? Like, who cares? You know, she didn't do research. She probably didn't want to be there.
She's probably a weather person from Tampa and said, let's get out there and talk weather.
How's the weather going to
Obviously wasn't anybody covering the team.
Weather takes over. Now we're just sending meteorologists to the stadium.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
I'll say she was a meteorologist.
I'll say she isn't.
I will agree with Doug.
Why was she there?
Probably a sports reporter who just didn't know that
She's
Detroit
not
had
a
a
sports
dome.
reporter.
Well, they don't send weather people to cover sports
I'm sure
stories.
if she's a reporter, she probably watched the Detroit game.
Well, the problem with what she did was say that Detroit dealt with a lot of bad weather games in the past. But that's not the case because they've been in a dome for 50 years.
Yeah.
So I think she kind of buried herself with that.
She just didn't realize it. I mean, we've seen cold games in Buffalo and Pittsburgh and Chicago and all over Green
She'll
Bay.
be a marketing coordinator
Kansas City.
in a few years.
Yeah.
It's like going to a golf tournament and saying, Tiger, you dealt with a lot of rain last week. How are you going to handle it this week? Well, it's sunny every day. Nice. Got to know your atmosphere.
Oh.
Can we make that a shirt or a bumper sticker or a
Wear the
mouse
mittens.
pad?
That was a hot take. The EDF hot mittens. Oh, okay. If
James
the takes are going to be that hot, I'm going to be prepared.
51 5-star reviews is what you'll get when you go to CarltonInsurance.net. James Carlton's my insurance agent. He's the Plowhawks insurance agent, and we would like him to become yours as well. When you see those 351 5-star reviews, you will read about the customer service he and his staff provide. It's James Carlton in Webster Groves, 314-961-4800, or go online at CarltonInsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm, and you probably should think about it. And Jackson, what is this golf app giveaway we have going on here for our audience?
Yeah, a little app contest. You can win tickets to the STL Golf Expo on the TMA app and at TMASTL.com. All you got to do is enter the keyword golf on the TMA app. The St. Louis Golf Expo is a can't-miss event of the year, giving golfers their first chance to see and swing the clubs, which will be the talk of the golf world in 2024. Take advantage of the lowest prices of the year on name-brand clubs and equipment from industry's leading manufacturers.
There it is. You can get that on the TMA app or online at tmastl.com. We'll have the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day in a matter of moments. Jackson and I will go down the hallway. We'll deal with it. We'll be fine.
You'll get ripped.
We will. And then I have a sound story at 11:30, and then we'll have QFTA live on YouTube and the Tim McKernan Show podcast feed. Send your questions, comments, and really we'd like some erotic stories. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Anything is welcome. TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. If you're dealing with low energy, low motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, those are symptoms of low testosterone. Decreased mental acuity and attention span and stress can cause focus issues on even the most simple tasks. Belly fat, feeling bloated, and a lack of lean muscle and tone that used to be easy to get rid of or maintain. Those are also symptoms. Well, that's where Mentality comes into play. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it wasn't fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restores the ability to perform normally at all levels. Come get checked out with Mentality. I have. They're online at lowtusa.com. That's Mentality at lowtusa.com. And think about it.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking long and I'm thinking hard about it.
Go get checked out.
I should.
Even though I think you have more testosterone than anybody I've ever met.
More than I can even use.
Got more hair. It looks like a little gerbil could just nestle right on your tusk.
Well, birds could. Small bird species could, absolutely.
I went to that St. Louis hair restoration website yesterday just to see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you should check it out.
Are they going to put you on there?
I'm
serious.
They
I
really
was gonna
should.
say, like, I
agree with you,
the
Plowhawk.
before and after might be huge.
I could,
upside.
Small birds like, a finch or a hummingbird, they could nest in here. Maybe a robin redbreast.
I've seen worse nests in the middle of the winter with some of these robins.
Now, I don't have the head size to accommodate birds of prey.
Yeah, condors and the like.
You're not going to see hawks up in there.
The eagles still stop at Grafton, and I don't have room to accommodate their talons yet. But who knows? Another couple of months.
You could
thick
do
as
it.
this stuff is growing.
You could do it.
Yeah.
Finches aren't that small.
It was just a joke, Iggy. Just a little gag. It was a bit.
Well, you can't compare a finch to a hummingbird.
Finches are pretty small.
I would love to spend more time on this. Unfortunately, I got to do this thing down the hallway. We got the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. And Young. Hey, guys. While we're talking about my DNA and the potential spread for boy juice, let me tell you about my Cameo, which you can find at Ken Strode Cuxia. And don't forget to tip, but tip more because those MFers at Cameo skim a bit off the top. Again, that's Ken Strode Cuxia at Cameo. Thanks. That's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henson, a generous bowl executive. Speaking of generous, subscribe to my YouTube page. Tongue punch that bell for notifications, and I'll whisper the ratings into your ear canal.
Oh, Brian Henson, our leadoff hitter.
And Young. I'd like to reserve the rights to Rutherford's breast and JR's sewer lid nips as text inbox names. I'll be auctioning them off to the sewer walleye on my Patreon page. Thanks. That's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henson, executive of Bulls and holder of nipple-related text names. No Colts game this weekend. I think they're on a bye.
Oh, could be.
On a bye?
Brian Henson, .2.
I've been watching you. Tim, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo. I want to be like you and eat all my food and grow as strong as you are. But this email is about the first time I was penetrated from behind.
Oh.
1982,
It's
USS
a different story
Admiral.
every day about the first time.
USS Admiral was hopping, and Bob Cuban had just finished their second set. So I moseyed up to the top deck to get some air. And that's where he approached me. Dude must have been a TV guy because he was caked up with Tut makeup?
Tuft?
I don't know,
Are you
just
talking about Tuft?
T-U-T. It's like the guy
King
over
Tut.
in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
He said, it's 10:05, so I've only got 10 minutes to play with. With that, he threw me on my tummy and just started doing the 5-knuckle shuffle on his own self.
Oh.
As he's really got solid, he entered me. It was incredible. Ill after he finished, I begged him for his name. He just smirked as his LeBaron fish-tailed across the cobblestone street, yelling, "Watch tonight's sports on the 2 Squared channel and see if you recognize the guy that just went balls deep."
Okay, that's enough! Is that Kevin Miller?
No, it says Sharon Tongues.
Sharon Tongue, French woman.
I wasn't able to listen to the whole show yesterday, but I think I heard that one hot older fellow with the gorgeous hair say something about needing his crack filled. I can't remember the whole story, but Doug definitely mentioned that he was going to pay a handyman to fill his crack, but the guy wanted $5,000 to perform the job. Fear not, I'll fill Doug's crack for free. Hell, I would even be willing to pay him if he lets me work at my own pace. Like I said, I couldn't listen to the whole show yesterday. I wasn't busy or anything. I just had to turn it off when the other old guy interrupted Tim's Design Air live read so he could incoherently ramble on about the weather. When Mr. Menthol started saying things like, "Well, what do you expect? It is December, after all," I had to tap out for the day. Listen up, Strode. It hasn't been December for over 2 weeks. Real talk. Does he even know what year it is? I don't think there's a problem with the Social Security website either. I bet he straight up forgot his own Social Security number like some sort of reverse Rain Man situation. Gatesworth, his old wrinkled ass.
Oh!
So the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
Morning, team. Checking in on the free T-shirt and hoodie Gangster Pete was sending me after I came up with a T-shirt idea 2.5 years ago. Our last communication goes as such. Gangster Pete, "Hey, Mick the bathroom attendant, we've picked your design. Send me 2 pieces in your size, and I'll get it sent to you. Or Tim can Venmo you $100 for the idea. It becomes out IP either way. That cool with you? Me. Thanks. I'll take the Dotem golf T-shirt and the TMA hoodie, size medium. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for being a good sport about the shrapnel you take in the text inbox about begging freshmen at Schur's dormitory to sleep with you, and the whole thing about wearing your hat like a competitive Ultra Frisbee JV captain. Gangster Pete, might send them, might not. If you want them, call the station. I'm leaving this hellhole, dick."
Oh!
Anyways, is 900 days too small a sample size to check back in on this? Thanks. Doug, that's from Maury and Little Jack.
Maury and Little Jack with a
Give me some
shot
advice.
at Gangster Pete.
Give me some advice. If you're ever offered 2 T-shirts or $100, take the $100.
And finally, Sadie Hawkins, Doug, SLU and Mizzou hoops both lost. Amazon's in talk to invest in Bailey's parent company, Diamond Sports, out of bankruptcy restructuring. Iggy has turned down sex with 100 gay men. But I think the lead is that Jackson unknowingly pulled a 12-year-old out of context clip of Ian Eagle sarcastically laying into Mike Fratello during a Nets regional broadcast on the Yes Network that went viral because the national audience wasn't in on the joke. I know a lot about new money, and it's great. How's Ken Strode? We're going to bring that back? How about that whole deal? After decades of financial hardship stemming from his being shorted $2,000 by a professional lady golfer using his oven as a safety deposit box, and his inability to sell a book by a photographer who has been canceled due to allegations of sexual misconduct, autographed by someone else who signs her name differently every time, so you can't verify the authenticity. But now his fortune is about to change. He's got a March 5th appointment with a Social Security caseworker to help him collect his $400 a month, which is currently on hold because the masturbation station Iggy used to apply for Social Security was too jacked up with viruses to complete the application. And now he's having listers pay him $1,500 to take a DNA test. I can't wait for the adult children of Anna Cardente and Champagne Tony Lima's niece to emerge as Iggy's bastard children. Iggy says very rarely did he go bareback, but I seem to recall him saying in reference to the niece of the 1964 British Open winner that he, quote, left a little something inside her?
Oh, God.
I don't think I've ever said that in my life.
Can we fly Maury Povich in for TMA Live? Doug, that's Buck Swope.
That'd be a bad idea. Buck Swope with a nice little email this morning.
Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Show me what you got, little mama. Show me what you got, little lady. Show me what you got, short
I believe it's between Buck Swope, Maury and Little John, and the JV golf coach.
Little Jack.
Little Jack.
Little Jack.
This morning I'm going to go with a fellow by the name of Swope, Buck Swope.
I mean, as it is most days, a process of elimination. You just go with the one that sucked the least. I guess I go Swope.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Buck Swope.
Okay.
Buck Swope has won, and he takes the lead in the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the month standings by a goal over Brian Henson, who thinks the Colts may be on a bye this weekend.
That could be. Or they could be out of it.
I don't think so.
It's probably a bye.
Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway, and we'll be fine. It's going to be fine. It will be fine. You can watch us deal with it on YouTube. It's the 101 ESPN channel. Then Sound Story, 11:30, and then QFTA Live coming up this afternoon. That'll be on the TMA YouTube channel. We'll tweet it out, put it on Instagram, the TMA fan page, and you can send your emails in for whatever topic you'd like us to discuss. TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. Brian Henson just sent in a text booing the selection.
He did.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Well, he had 2 entries.
Ooh, Henson?
Yeah.
Oh, why would we vote for yours?
Hey, now.
He sent in 2, and one was worse than the other.
Well, he's a regular emailer. He'd like to win every now and then.
Let's give it to him then.
You toss him a cookie every now and then, I suppose.
Yeah, he's won once this year.
I wonder what the 23andMe fundraising is at on the Venmo. I wonder if we're at 1,500. It's stalled. Dotem said it's grinded to a halt. How long should I keep this up?
Close it down whenever
What
you
is
want.
it? What is it?
$472.90. Somebody
That ain't
donated
gonna-
90 cents.
A couple $100, Dig.
We're not going to get there. We're not going to get there.
Somebody donate $5.90.
We're not going to get there, are we?
Wrong station. $105.07.
So the 1,500 looks like it might be problematic at the moment.
Yeah, that's a shame.
If we don't get this thing going immediately, it usually kind of dies on the vine there. So I'm a little concerned. Would you accept a lesser amount?
No.
He's firm on this.
Okay. Well, it'd be a wonderful bid. I'd hate to see it go up in smoke.
Yeah, it'd be a wonderful bit. Why don't you do it for $50?
I don't know. I guess I don't know if I would or not.
Yeah, there you go.
I would, but it might not interesting. Iggy's really who we need.
But I'm not counting on this to fund my retirement.
All right, Jackson and I are going to go on the hallway for Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Watch it on YouTube and engage in the chat. It's always very active on that on YouTube. For the Plowhawk, for Action Jacks, for Kenny Thinky Stroke, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Sullivan, Vaughn, and Tim McCurdy, this has been The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen.
Urban Dictionary.